Good afternoon from Alumni Stadium. We're getting ready here for the home opener for Delaware State University, looking for their first win of the season, and they're going to do it against Division II Lincoln from Lincoln, Pennsylvania, a CIAA team. These two teams have not met on the football field since 1960, and they're going to start it off here today. Hornets looking for a win in this first of 7 home games on the season. The flip side of last year, Mike Walker, when we were on the road for 7.
Right. Listen, both of these teams are coming off of a loss, so they're both hungry to get their first victory. Advantage, obviously, Delaware State University, because they're playing at home. And on paper, they're supposed to be the superior team. But Delaware State University cannot look past Lincoln University. To do so would be at their own peril.
Everybody is enthusiastic here today. A good crowd here at Alumni Stadium for this first home game on a beautiful afternoon. It's gotten a little bit humid as the afternoon has gone along, and it's clouded up a little bit from what it was this morning, but we're not expecting precipitation during game time. A lot of folks out here enjoying the shirt sleeve weather. It's about 80 degrees as we get this game started here this afternoon. The bands have done everything they're supposed to do. Player introductions are done, and we're just waiting for them to put it on the tee and get things going here in Dover, Delaware. We'll get a chance again today to see the starting quarterback for Delaware State in his first start, actually, as a quarterback, Tyleek Bethea, who came into the game last week, or 2 weeks ago at Delaware, and did a pretty good job coming in after the injury to Shane Smith. Completed 10 of 18 passes, threw 2 touchdown passes, and the true freshman showed that he's a force to be reckoned with here on this team. I
really like the fact that he completed some passes in some very key situations. Just wasn't, these weren't padded stats where he came in at the end of the game and the coach gave him a look. No, he entered the game relatively early when Shane sustained a broken finger on his non-throwing hand, and the young gentleman showed a lot of poise back there in the pocket. He's more of a traditional pocket passer. He does have the ability to run the rock, but I think right now he's just basically focused on getting the ball to some of his key playmakers.
They're giving him basic stuff to work with, too. He's 6'5", 200 pounds as a freshman. Did everything he had to do with high school last December and enrolled in Delaware State in January, was involved in spring practices, and really was an integral part of this team as it went forward. So he was quite ready to play football here at Delaware State. Kawana Kali is the deep man in the middle for Delaware State as we're getting ready for the opening kickoff. Lincoln Lions in dark pants and white jerseys with red numerals. Delaware State in the all-red jerseys with white numerals. And the throwback helmet, as Coach Rod Milstead brought back the helmet design that was used here when he played at Delaware State.
Right. I mean, he's just really trying to reconnect the program back to that time when it had a tremendously long run of success, and in doing so, he's hoping to not only just bring back the victories, but bring back the people as well.
And this game is underway as it goes to the far sideline, taking it the 15-yard line, up to the 20, 25, bit of a hole, through the hole, and up close to the 40-yard line on that opening kickoff return for Delaware State. And we'll pick out who it was. It was Kawana Kali on the kickoff return, brings it out to the Hornets' 40-yard line. A nice 25-yard return to set things up.
Nice field position for Delaware State University, so they don't have their end zone literally in their back pocket. They got about 60 yards for pay dirt, maybe 40 to get in field goal range.
Let's check that offensive line. At center, Dwight Chavis. The guards, Matthew Dirks and Eric Kareem. The tackles, Aiden Crawford and Isaiah Williams at the tight end spot. Bethea out of the shotgun on first down. Play action, fakes the handoff. Had a man open right off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Isaiah Williams, the tight end.
That's the one you got to pull in. That's just a great pass. The timing was lovely. The placement was lovely. And I think Isaiah Williams was more shocked by that pass than anything else.
He'd have been running a long way after making that catch.
Got to pull those in.
That was down around the Lincoln 40-yard line where the contact was made with the ball. They'll take it on the ground on second down off of left tackle and out across the 45 to the 47-yard line on that run. Bryant Dallas on the first carry of the game for Delaware State brings up third and short yardage at 3 yards to go.
He was the workhorse and the leading rusher in that game versus UD. I mean, he struggled for every yard he got. But I tell you what, he never quit. Kept his game going north and south, and I think it's going to pay dividends for him in today's game.
Dallas, 18 carries against Delaware. And they will throw the ball left side, completed to Kawana Column, and it's a first down for Delaware State. A pickup of about 5 yards on the play to the 48 of Lincoln.
Just basic pitch and catch. You know, Kawana Column, you got to give him his respect. He's a deep threat. Plus, he's a big body. He was smart enough to know to set up behind the first down marker, and he picked up the first down.
They'll keep it on the ground, come around the left side to Bryant Dallas. He tripped up across the line of scrimmage at about the 45-yard line, managed to spin forward to the 43 and picked up 5 yards, even though he was hit just after crossing the line.
Right now, the offensive line doing a really good job of sustaining their blocks and giving Bryant Dallas an opportunity to choose his holes, Gary. And again, that's great pickup on a first down play.
Kind of game today gives the Hornets a chance that they could have a dominant game. Short pass out on the sideline area. It is complete, and we'll see if it's enough for a first down. Kawana Collie ran to the marker, turned around, and the ball was right there.
He's going to be just about maybe a yard or two shy of the first down, but this third and short situation right now, the way the offensive line is playing, this is a good opportunity for Del State to use some play action or just really focus on picking up the first down with the run.
Third down and a yard from the 39-yard line of Lincoln from the shotgun. They give it to Dallas again. Hit at the line of scrimmage, has to bounce away. He'll lose yardage as he's taken down back at the 40-yard line. It'll bring up fourth down and 2. Good penetration by that Lincoln defense.
Decisions, but they're keeping the offense out there, so you know they're going to make it one of those situations where they're going to go for it on 4th.
Coach Rod Milstead showing some confidence in his offense here early in the game. 4th and 2 from the Lincoln 40-yard line. Bethea wants to go to the air, can't. Pulls it down, runs with it. He'll have the first down as he gets up to the 37-yard line of Lincoln, picking up 3.
Big boy showing he's got the ability to get outside the pocket and just, you know, with the grace of a full-grown deer, just kind of sprints to the sideline, knows where the first down is at, and just picks up enough yards to move the chains.
Yeah, at 6'5" and 200 pounds, he doesn't carry a lot of excess weight on that body. He's very lean. They try running right side, and nothing happening there. Big stop, a one-on-one tackle of Bryant Dallas. As they tried to go around the right side this time, every other play has gone to the left side.
Bryant Dallas was looking for something on the inside, Gary. Lincoln University doing a good job up front of kind of plugging up all those available holes. And when he bounced it out to the far right side of the offensive line, he was met by a defensive player and picked up literally nothing on the play.
Looked like it was Kyle Wilkins, the defensive end, over on that side. So now Bethea goes to the air, throwing deep inside the 10, and it will be incomplete. Almost pulled in at the 3-yard line, but just a little bit too far to the sideline. That's a tough pass to make.
You know, he threw it over that outside shoulder, and that's exactly where you want to place the ball. You want it to be one of these situations where only the offensive receiver can make a play on the ball, and Trey Gross just, you know, couldn't really get a good location, a good beat on that pass.
Yeah, he looked inside first and then realized he had to turn around and take a look the other way, twisting his body. Here's Bethea on third down. Completed pass. And it is Kawana Collie getting his catch down to the 30-yard line of Lincoln. They'll put the ball at the 24.
And that's going to be enough for the first down. I look like that might be Bizette on that particular play.
Okay. Check that. It was 88 Bizette Woodley on that catch for the first down to the 24 of Lincoln. Powering through the middle, pounding it out. Richard Harris, the running back. He's good for 5 yards down to the 19.
Seth Woodley, the gentleman who caught the touchdown pass against UD. Again, 6'5" target. The kid is very athletic and he's very aggressive. And you know what I love the most thing about him, Gary? He's a freshman. We got a lot of time to work with this kid.
Out of Chantilly, Virginia. 2nd down and 5. Delaware State putting together a drive here. Bethea looks to throw again. Rolls right side, looks downfield, pulls it down. He'll have to dump it off and throws to the end zone, but it will go incomplete. Nobody in the area, or at least close enough to get to it, as number 3, Charles Peeler, tried to swing over there and catch the ball, but way too far away.
The receivers, I think, will eventually grow to understand that when they see Bethea is in trouble, they have to break those patterns off and start to work back towards him. And I think everybody just kind of stayed with their assigned pattern and didn't work back to help him out on that play when he scrambled to buy more time.
Ball on the near side hash mark at the 24-yard line. It is 3rd down and 5 for the Hornets. Bethea with a single back in the backfield. Harris, little swing pass out on the right side. Good catch made, and a juke around to get inside the 10-yard line. It's Kawanakali. And it will bring up a 1st down and goal for the Hornets.
Kawanakali, his name is all over this particular drive. It started with the opening kickoff, and he caught a couple of big passes to move the chains, and that's another one of those quick receptions that allows them to continuously maintain possession and move the ball down the field.
8 yards to hit pay dirt here for Delaware State. As the quarterback goes under center, hands off in the backfield. It looks like Harris on the carry, and he'll be stopped after a yard gain up to the 7-yard line.
Good penetration by Lincoln's defensive line on that particular run play. Again, Del State needs to do a much better job of not only sustaining their blocks, but moving the line of scrimmage to the defensive side of the line of the ball. They're not getting a good push right now.
Yeah, they need that push back. 2nd and goal at the 7. Bethea goes back to the shotgun. Hands it off. Into the middle. Touchdown, Hornets!
It's a Hornets touchdown!
Bryant Dallas getting the touchdown on a 7-yard run right through the middle. They didn't push that line back that time. They just blew him out of the way.
Man, that was reminiscent of Moses parting the Red Sea on that particular play. That hole was so wide, I think Bryant Dallas was a little nervous about running through it. Like it might have been a setup or something.
That's right. It could be a trick. You never know. The Hornets will go out in front. A nice drive to start this game by Delaware State. Now to be Jose Romo Martinez, the sophomore kicker, setting up for the extra point out of the hold of his brother Fidel Romo Martinez, and the kick is good. We have 9:23 remaining in the first period, and the Hornets go up first here 7-0 over Lincoln. More to come this afternoon here on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports. .60 yards, 15 plays, good.
How much time we have for break, Gary?
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters.
How long is this
From
break?
scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike before the Bulldogs bite? Will the Eagles sink their talents into the title or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wildcats wrap their jaws around victory or will the Spartans win out in the hunt? It's the road to the 2019 Celebration Bowl. May the wildest team win.
Back here to action, Lincoln on the kickoff return, bringing it out across the 40-yard line, but there is a penalty marker back down the field at the 18-yard line, so this long return by Lincoln is going to come back. That Delaware State scoring drive, they went 60 yards in 15 plays, ate up 5 minutes, 37 seconds of the clock in doing so.
You know, Coach Milstead, I love his approach to the game. He wants his best players on every situation. And on that particular kickoff team, he had Trey Gross playing defense. Here is probably the leading receiver on offense, and they have him playing kickoff team. You got to get your best plays out there if you want the best results.
So here's a step off. It'll go half the distance to the goal line, put the ball down at the Lincoln 9-yard line on the penalty on the kickoff.
offense did its job of taking the ball down the field in the opening possession. And here's the strength of Delaware State University, their defense. They get a chance to show why they're the leaders.
Had a chop block that really hurt Lincoln on that. Handoff, they'll go around the left side and maybe lose a yard back to the 8-yard line on that play. Brings up 2nd down and 11 for Lincoln, as Delaware State just sealed up every possible hole on that line of scrimmage.
These guys are really excited about playing defense. You know, everybody wants to get to the ball. And when you have that mentality, you tend to see a whole lot of team tackling out there.
Lions quarterback Eben Jackson calls the signals, and hold on, we'll have penalty markers at the snap. And we'll see what this is about. False start on the Lions. This will be half the distance to the goal, which will put the ball back at the 4-yard line, and it will be 2nd down for Lincoln. They have to get out to the 19-yard line for a 1st down. So we're at 2nd and 15.
At Del State, you want to play very disciplined defense. Don't want to give up any big plays due to penalties.
They're up pretty close to the line of scrimmage looking for a run by Lincoln, and this one will go toward the right side. Justin Thompson on the carry, and he'll lose a yard. Justin Johnson, the running back. And it brings up 3rd down and 16 now.
I love that type of defense out of Delaware State University, the type of defense where so many guys are involved in the tackle. It's hard to tell who actually is responsible for the tackle, so we're just going to give everybody for Del State an assist on that last play.
Folks expecting the Hornets to be dominant in this game today, and here's where they might be on defense. On 3rd and 16, quarterback Jackson goes back, throws way over the head of his intended receiver downfield, Demir Triplett. It's going to bring up a 4th and 16. And punter Cole Klubeck will have to kick from with just about his feet back on the back of the end zone line.
They struggled on their opening possession on offense. That's Lincoln. And that last play, quarterback just did a good job of avoiding a sack. Gary just didn't want to get tackled for the safety, so he threw the ball away. And he gave essentially the punter just a little bit more space to work with. But I think this is going to be a golden opportunity for a big return out of Keenan Black.
Punter Klubeck stands 9 yards deep in the end zone to take the snap. The pressure coming, he gets it away. A good high line drive kick that will be taken at about the 48-yard line for Delaware State. Looking for some place to run with the football. It's Keenan Black, and Black couldn't find much space to run. Kind of danced around a little bit, looked, but didn't make much forward progress after catching the ball. Only got up to the 45.
I think he was really trying to set up a couple of blocks, and it just didn't develop, and he found himself in a situation where he couldn't elude that Lincoln punt defense team, and maybe lost maybe a yard or two after receiving that punt.
The official sponsors are of HSR. And just to help to set the stage a little bit here on this game. Hornets on their first drive, 60 yards in 5 minutes and 37 seconds, and then forced Lincoln to go 3 and out and lose yardage in the process.
Kind of a balanced effort for Delaware State University. Had some success running the ball, had some success passing the ball, and I think that's exactly how they want to approach their offense. There are some times when they're going to be able to run the ball. Then there are times they're going to be able to pass the ball. And then there will be situations where they have to do one or the other to set up one or the other. And I thought on that particular first drive, when they wanted to run the ball, they did a good job of executing, and wanting to pass, they did an equally good job.
Tyleek Bethea showing that arm of his on a couple of the passes. Good strong arm, unable to connect up on a couple that would have been big plays. Play action fake. Bethea throwing sideline. And it is Kawanakali on the receiving end. Down at the 30-yard line. Yards after the catch gets him to the 27 of Lincoln.
Move the chains! First and
Just giving him all types of cushion. They respect his ability to go deep. So they have to give that. They have to seed that to him. And he's smart enough to know he's going to make it look like he's going deep and just pull up and look for that short curl pattern.
Run play here on first down, and it's the quarterback on the keeper. He's going to lose yardage in the backfield as there just wasn't enough blocking out in front of him as he came around to the left side. Bethea, let's see, they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
That's a skill set he's going to have to work on. He's actually a pretty fast dude. He's got some foot speed, but, you know, he's a pass first, run second type of guy, and I know Coach Milstead is really going to want him to really enhance the run aspect of his game.
Bethea hands it off. Richard Harris, left side, following blocking. It stacks up. He's still pushing for yardage. Now they'll blow the whistle and stop things as he gets to the 23-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6 next.
Just an inside handoff. He kind of bounced it outside, was looking for a read off of a block, didn't find one, and at a certain point he just lowered his head and literally ran into the back of the offensive lineman. So that offensive lineman probably gets an assist on that tackle.
Hornets with one man in the backfield with Bethea. Takes the snap from the shotgun, throws end zone. Colley, touchdown! Kawana Colley with the touchdown reception for Delaware State. And the Hornets showing offense. What a touch on that pass. Laid it out there. He knew Kawana Colley could go get it, had the speed, and he just threw it to the end zone. Colley did the rest.
For a gentleman who has less than 4 quarters of college experience underneath his belt, you got to respect the way Tyleek Bethea is performing in this game today.
That was sweet.
Jake Bridell will attempt the
Jake
extra
Bridell,
point.
the backup kicker, to kick the extra point here for Delaware State. I have a feeling that the kickers today may get plenty of opportunities. Not so much punters, but place kickers. And we have whistles as the penalty marker goes down. Jake Burdell is a freshman out of Gettysburg High School up in my favorite part of Pennsylvania. And he'll see if he can get his first collegiate point here. And his kick is good.
The extra point is good!
It hits the upright, but hey, he gets the English on it, so.
And I didn't even have to call it. So we have 5:53 remaining in the first, 5:51 remaining in the first period. Hornets have the kind of lead you're hoping you'd see right about now. It's 14-0. More to come on HSRN. The voice. Jake Burdell's kickoff is taken at the 21-yard line for Lincoln.
On the kickoff return.
And on the return, that was Devin Cathcart. He managed to bring it back to the Lions. Where are they going to mark it? At the 28-yard line. So not a lot on that kickoff return by Cathcart. But a bit of good field position here for Lincoln. Their second possession of the game. They'll start from their own 28. Eben Jackson, the quarterback, out of a shotgun, calling the signals, turns, looks, fires, left side, screen pass, complete, and they get yardage out to the 30-yard line on the play. Shoye Sampson, the wide receiver, was on the receiving end of that ball. Second down and 3 for Lincoln.
It's 2nd and 3. Ball on the 35-yard line.
Jackson with a lone back in the backfield has Dante Brockington in motion to the far side, hands it off to the back in the backfield. He's hit maybe 2 yards deep in the end zone, manages to carry it forward to the 36. And now it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Justin Johnson on the carry.
There's the running back, Justin Johnson, on the carry.
It's
Johnson
3rd and 2.
from Edders,
Ball
Pennsylvania,
on the
Redland High School.
36-yard line.
3rd and 2 from the shotgun. Lone back in the backfield. Quarterback throwing down the sideline on the left side, the far side of the field. Dante Brockington was down there, but it was well past him, and it brings up 4th down, and that means a punt by Lincoln.
Joanne Granger doing a good job of just forcing the receiver to the sideline, using the sideline as essentially another defender. So Lincoln, even though it looked like they were going to have a promising drive, is ending up punting the ball right back to Delaware State University.
Cole Kubik.
Keenan Black
Punt for Lincoln University.
stands at the 22-yard line for the Hornets, waiting to receive this punt. Didn't get much of a return on the last one. This one will hit in front of him. He will grab it on the second bounce, elude one tackler. He got away from it. He's up to the 40, 45, 50-yard line and into Lincoln territory, taken down right around the Lions' 45-yard line. A risky return as there was a tackler right there as he took the ball on the second bounce. Once he eluded him, he had a lot of green field.
Did a good job, too, of setting up his blocks, recognizing where the open lanes were downfield. And, he's last year he played at the quarterback position where he struggled, but the one thing everybody liked about him was he was an exciting runner when he would tuck and run the ball.
Don't forget to log on to hsrn.com. In addition to our weekly live broadcast, hsrn.com has become the go-to site for all HBCU sports information.
Lose a position or a coach will ask you to play another position, and guys will go into a shell and they'll stop being a teammate, they'll stop being productive. But Keenan Black is the ultimate team player. He told the coach, whatever I can do, let me do. Coach found the spot for him. He knew he was an explosive runner, so he allowed him to return punts, and it's already paying dividends. You can see not only does he return them with a passion, but when he finishes it off, he knows how to celebrate.
It was a strong point at quarterback last year was his feet. He had 2 punt returns against Delaware, had one for 27 yards. Hornets going for 7 here as the completion goes to Kawanakali at the 10-yard line of Lincoln. He's taken down immediately, but they came out throwing on first down.
Kawanakali just doing a good job to get the defender, Rob Thomas, to bite on the go move. It was really one of them situations where down, out, and up. And that was just good touch by Tyleek Bethea on the play. Great pass and catch for Delaware State.
Hornets with a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Trying to put some more in. Bryant Dallas on the carry, bangs it ahead. It's like down to around the 6-yard line. And Dallas gets up, and he's not putting any weight on that right foot as he hops to the sideline.
He immediately falls to the turf and pointing to that right ankle. I don't know if he rolled it, Gary, or maybe somebody rolled onto it.
Yeah.
But he did hop off the field under his own power.
It's 2nd and goal from the 6 for the Hornets. Play action fake, throw into the end zone, incomplete, hit the wide receiver Jordan Hanna right between the 2 and the 1, and he's going to have a bruise because we've seen the way this quarterback, Tyleek Bethea, can throw that ball. You have to catch it.
One of those situations, again, where the receiver, at this level, if it hits your hand, you've got to be able to pull it in. The defender was on his back. He made a play for the ball and did a good job of separating the receiver from the ball.
On 3rd down, quarterback Bethea rolls right, little toss, corner of the end zone, complete, and it's Kawanakali on the receiving end. So he brings 7 to the Hornets, gets the touchdown catch, and now they'll go for the extra point. Wanakali just kind of rolled out to that right side, rolling with the quarterback, and a good throw by Bethea on the move. You know how difficult that can be.
Yeah, Bethea just did a good job of selling the potential that he might actually run the ball. That held the defenders. They had to respect his ability to tuck and run. And by doing that, he allowed Kawanakali to execute his pattern and get open just enough to catch the touchdown.
Jose Romo Martinez kicks the extra point, and it is good. We still have 2 minutes and 59 seconds left here in the first quarter as we see again on a replay, Bethea rolling right and hitting Kawanakali down in the short end of portion of the end zone. Hornets now up to a 21-0 lead. American Spirit Federal Credit Union is a proud
uncertain and maybe mentally troubling waters right now, because I can't remember the last time they enjoyed a 21-point lead with significant time left on the clock in the first quarter.
For all intents and purposes, 3 minutes left here in the first period. This kind of like the last game that was played here at Alumni Stadium against Virginia Lynchburg, a team that was outmatched from the opening kickoff. And it looks like one of those mismatches going on here today. Hornets defense doing exactly what they need to do. But we're seeing great performance from the freshman quarterback, Tyleek Bethea, as he's gaining confidence with every pass caught. Kickoff down to the 11-yard line. On the return, it's Dante Brockington. Cuts it back up the middle. Gets across the 25-yard line. We have a loose ball. Let's see who they say has it. Hornets are claiming it. Nothing yet from the officials. And in the absence of a signal, we still don't know who. Hornets defensive unit going on to the field.
Let's see if we can see who might have come up with that on this replay. It's a good kick by Delaware State University.
Yeah, we have a monitor right next to us here and could see the replay and see if there's any idea of who might have come up with it as they piled up there at the 28-yard line. Lincoln's third possession of the game. They haven't been able to move the ball here on the Hornets defense. Pressure coming on the quarterback. He scrambles in the backfield. Penalty marker is down as the quarterback, Evan Jackson, scrambles out to the 30-yard line, but he may lose that yardage here. We probably have holding.
Yeah, with the area where that penalty flag came from usually is a holding.
It's a 10-yard penalty, too, for Lincoln.
You're going to get Justin Johnson, the running back, on that holding call, just trying to protect his quarterback. But, look, he's facing an incredible rush by that front three at Delaware State University. So I could understand why he was holding on that last play.
Save his quarterback. Put the ball back at the 17-yard line. It is still first down, but it's 1st and 20 for the Lions. Eben Jackson, the Lincoln quarterback here, trying to get something going with this offense, but this Delaware State defense is having nothing of it today. Throwing downfield. It is complete. Yep, they're going to mark a catch, and a great catch as a kind of an acrobatic catch. Aldo, he looked to inside his right shoulder. The ball was more directly over his head, and the receiver had to make the adjustment and caught it.
Second down for the Lions.
Pickup of 21 yards on the play. First down out to the 38.
Still a little shy of the first down. They're going to say it's second and short.
You're right. Yeah, they've marked the line of scrimmage just a yard short. Second and a yard.
Evan Jackson took a huge hit on that play, Gary, and he looks okay after that.
Hornets put pressure on again. Little swing pass out on the right side, complete to the wide receiver, Jordan Gray. An open field tackle coming up to make the hit is the defensive back for Delaware State, and it's a loss of 2 yards on the play.
That's a great tackle in space by Andrew Reese. I mean, these are the most difficult tackles to make because it's easy for a guy to put one move on you and literally shake you out of the screen, but he does a good job of just wrapping up.
It's 3rd and 4. Ball on the 34-yard line.
3rd down and 4. Pressure coming up the middle, and he had to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. Try to click pass, one of those inside moves to Jordan Gray, but he was hit immediately, and now a little bit of extracurricular activity going on in the backfield, and a penalty marker flies. I think this will be on Lincoln for unsportsmanlike conduct.
It shouldn't be on Delaware State University because
they were walking away.
Coach Milstead would be very upset. You know, there's no need for that. We're at home. We're winning. This is about execution, not, you know, lip flapping out there. They don't need any of that, any extracurricular activity.
And it was on Lincoln. It's unsportsmanlike conduct. And the problem was there was some guy out there who really wanted to go after a Delaware State player. The Lincoln players were trying to get him away, and he wouldn't stop. And there may have been something said, too, that drew the penalty flag. So now it is 4th down for Lincoln, and they have about 19 yards to go.
For Lincoln University.
Cole Klubik down at his 5-yard line to take the snap. Keenan Black standing at the Hornets' 47 to take the punt. This one's a little bit short. He'll step up, catch it at the 50, and get hit immediately. Lincoln gets the loose ball. And it's Elijah Thomas on the fumble, the recovery of the muff. Now, the question is, are they going, we have a penalty marker on the play, are they going to call it a fumble or a muff?
I think he might be in the halo, that area where you can't hit a guy. You have to have a certain amount of space away from him. I think he might have encroached on that.
Defensive interference is what they're calling, and you're right, Mike. You got to give that guy a chance to catch the ball. The defender was right there. They'll put the ball at the Lincoln 34-yard line, and it will be Hornets ball.
The penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 for your Hornets.
Well, they get a break there because a half step slower, and that would have been a good hit that knocked the ball away. The question then would have been if it was a muff or a fumble, because a muff can't be advanced. A fumble can be. That's all moot.
Charles Peeler on that particular punt return.
Quarterback, play action fake. Dallas rolls right side, throws, completes. Got it to Charles Peeler, and Peeler runs out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. And then we have a penalty marker go down well after the play was over. They'll mark the forward progress to the line of to the 19-yard line, and the Hornets are indicating that this is on Lincoln. Half the distance to the goal line. A late hit over there. The marker was thrown out of bounds, so it was some extra activity after the receiver went out of bounds. There's the handoff into the middle. Bryant Dallas down to the 1-yard line. And they're taking a close look to see whether he got into the end zone or was stopped at the 1, and it is at the 1.
Harris on the carry.
Check that. It was Richard Harris on the carry.
2nd down for your Hornets.
Harris wearing 35, and Dallas wears 30. Well, the ball got loose and fell into the end zone, but they're going to rule he was down by contact at the 1. That's why those linemen were down there celebrating. They thought they'd picked up a fumble for a touchdown. We have 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter and a timeout on the field. We'll keep it here because we're going to be breaking away at the end of the first quarter in just a moment anyway. Remind you to download the HSRN app.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike?
They'll run it straight into the middle. Touchdown, Delaware State.
Or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wild
This football game, and it was Richard Harris on the carry.
We have our sports information director, Dennis Jones, in the booth with us today. We're going to ask him to see when's the last time Delaware State University scored 28 points in one quarter.
Especially in the first quarter.
We got 2 T-shirts if somebody can call up and with the trivia answer to that.
And it has to be right. That's a critical portion of it. The extra point kick is up, and it is good. 19 seconds left here in the first period, and Delaware State is up 28-0. This offense has done everything that these coaches would want from it today, and the defense has played lights out.
Got to keep the tempo up too, Gary, because, again, even though it looks like they're comfortably in the driver's seat, they have to use the remaining plays and possessions as, preparation for the remainder of the season.
It doesn't get any easier, as homecoming next week will bring in Howard, and then on the road on a Thursday night game that'll be a national television broadcast as well at North Carolina A&T, the defending MEAC champion from the last 2 years.
We'll be there right with you, giving it to you play-by-play if you can't make it. So, again, if you can't make these games, even if you're sitting in the stands and you want to know who's who and what's what, download the app so we can give it to you. We drop it hot like nobody else does.
Even though we're not through the first quarter, it's a reminder here the DSU post-game show is brought to you by American Spirit Federal. To kick off, line drive kick at the 9, and brought up the near side hash mark, cut to the outside, a hit there, slowed up Deontay McKenzie, and he's finally corralled down at the 29-yard line.
McKenzie with the kickoff return.
Hornets have something else to prove here this year, to prove the improvement, but also the naysayers. They have been picked to finish 9th out of 9 teams in the MEAC, and they're a much better team than that.
Sometimes you like that type of a situation because it allows people to make you kind of what we call a check-off game. So they're not really focused on Delaware State right now. And you know what? Coach Milstead's probably happy with that. He's going to use it as a motivational tool. But on the flip side, he's also hoping that, we're hoping Delaware State's not on the radar. We hope you figure out how good we are when it's fourth quarter in the game and we're winning.
Yeah, we dare you to overlook us.
Right.
And that's kind of a great attitude to take in, to be the underdog and have the ability to say that. Hornets stack it up in the middle. The Lions try to run left side on the carry by Christopher Edward Smalls. He was met for a loss of 2 on the play, back to the 27-yard line.
Granger doing a good job out of his cornerback position, just coming up and laying the wood. I love it when everybody wants to get involved in defense, and that's what they have right now, Gary. A swarm of Hornets to the ball.
First quarter has finally come to an end here at Alumni Stadium, and the Hornets lead 28-0 over Lincoln. This is Delaware State University football. We are HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike before the Bulldogs bite? Will the Eagles sink their talents into the title or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wildcats wrap their jaws around victory, or will the Spartans win out in the hunt? It's the road to the 2019 Celebration Bowl. May the wildest team win.
Okay.
Man.
Should I say something?
Back to action here,
second quarter to begin at Delaware State. The Lincoln Lions facing a real deficit here, 28-0. They are down to Delaware State, and the Hornets offense has done everything it's wanted to do here in the first quarter. The defense has been dominant, and we'll see what they're able to do here in the second quarter as well, as a good crowd here at Delaware State, a nice crowd for the home opener here. Just imagine what it's going to be like next week for homecoming if we get the same kind of weather. But a win today and a dominant win will help to increase that crowd as well. Tickets are on sale for that game. Want to see all the alums out. Running play to the right side. That is on the carry, Samuel Heeman-Aka.
Christopher Edwards Smalls.
Well, check that. Carry. Christopher Edwards Smalls on the carry for Lincoln. He got back the 2 yards that was lost on the first down carry. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Mike Walker, are you surprised that they're running the ball so much down 28?
Listen, it's probably what they designed as far as the offensive strategy was concerned, and you can't abandon it. But I don't see where they have any openings. The pass game, Delaware State's doing a great job putting pressure on the quarterback. And once you can't pass, the only thing you can do is run. And right now, Delaware State's doing a good job of controlling all the action inside of the box.
Eben Jackson in the first quarter completed 3 of 6 passes. They'll run here on 3rd and 10, pick up a yard to the 30-yard line. But a gang tackling after Justin Jackson carried it for a yard, and it will be the 4th kick of the afternoon here for Lincoln. They only have one kicker. This guy kicks, he punts.
And he drives the bus.
Yeah, probably. Cole Klubeck. Let me check something here.
Cole Klubeck will punt for Lincoln University.
Yeah, he's a senior, so he's probably old enough to be able to drive, especially a bus. Attended the Community College of the Air Force. Maybe he could fly the plane. This kick is short, and it will be downed by Lincoln at the Del State 35-yard line. A couple of players get together upfield here, close to the line of scrimmage originally. They get them separated and calm down. Now the officials put the ball down on the Delaware State 35-yard line.
This is a golden opportunity for Delaware State to practice the art of disengagement. They cannot allow Lincoln's anger about the current situation to pull them into reacting and potentially having them being disqualified for future play or in the next game. So they have to really remain focused on football and not what happens after football.
Bethea, hands off on 1st down. The Hornets, I expect to see a lot of running plays at this point now with a 28-point lead in the first quarter. You keep your foot on the gas, but you don't have to speed. And it is Richard Harris on the carry. Check that it is Thomas Bertrand Hudon who carried the ball straight forward, a pickup of 5, 2nd and 5. Bethea will hand it off to Hudon again. Big hole in the middle. Spins his way up across the 45-yard line. Well, I think they're going to say his knee hit at the 44. So it'll be 3rd and a yard for Delaware State.
3rd and short situation. You got Tyleek Bethea with a great arm. He's shown the ability not only to complete the deep pass, but has a whole lot of touch on the short pass.
They'll keep it on the ground here, and they'll run it straight ahead. Hudon stopped short of the 1st down, got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. So it'll bring up 4th and 1 for the Hornets at their own 44-yard line. I would expect to see Coach Milstead keep the offense out here for this one, too.
Again, he wants to be able to simulate. Actually, it is a real game, so there's no simulating this. But, again, these situations are going to occur later in the season, and he wants to make sure that his team can execute on these critical 4th down plays.
And there's 2 statements being made here. We have confidence in our offense, but we also have confidence in our defense that if we don't make this 1st down, Lincoln's not going to benefit from field position.
The D-backs have to be very concerned about how they cover these Del State wide receivers because they have the size and the speed, and you don't want to press too tough and give up the big pass.
Hornets have called a timeout here, their first of the first half. with 11:57 left in the half. 4 great touchdowns for Delaware State in the first quarter. They got their first one with 9:23 remaining in the period. Bryant Dallas with a 7-yard touchdown run. Then Kawana Kali caught a 23-yard pass from Bethea. Kali had the second touchdown on a 6-yard pass from Bethea. And then it was Richard Harris on a 1-yard run for the 4th touchdown of that first period. Jose Romo Martinez provided the extra point on each of the 4 touchdowns. You can follow HSRN on It's now with 4th and 1 as they go to the line of scrimmage, trying to keep this drive alive and keep punter Fidel Romo Martinez relegated to holding the ball on kicks. And this time they'll give it up on 4th down, only get back to the line of scrimmage. Good defense by Lincoln as they stacked it up in the middle. Hornets turn it over on downs to Lincoln. Play calling there, Mike. What do you think?
You know, again, you got to rely on your offensive line to be able to pick you to deliver 2 or 3 yards in those type of situations. And Lincoln did a good job of anticipating the run. They loaded up the box, and they were a little bit more aggressive at the point of attack than Delaware State was. That's one of those situations where they're going to sit down in the film room during this week and show each individual guy why it's important for you to work as a unit and make sure you execute your particular assignment.
Here's Lincoln's best field position of the day in Hornets territory for the first time at the Delaware State 44-yard line. Eben Jackson doesn't get a chance to take the snack before we get a penalty marker. False start called on Lincoln. They will take the ball back to the 49-yard line of Delaware State and have a 1st and 15. And when you're down 28 and trying to finally get something going, a false start on 1st down doesn't help.
Terrible, because, again, they're really struggling to pick up 5 yards. So to give 5 yards away literally puts you in a hole that you haven't been able to get out of.
Pass completed across the middle, good for about 3 yards up to the 46-yard line. You need to get bigger chunks than that.
It's just a safe pass, you know, pitch and catch between the quarterback and the wide receiver. They could be trying to set up something else later in the game, but again, for Lincoln, that's a smart play.
Lincoln unable to attain a 1st down at all in the first quarter, still looking for their first down of the game. 2nd down and 12. Jackson in trouble, scrambles with the ball, runs to the sideline after picking up a couple of yards, gets inside the 45-yard line. They're going to say he's down at the 43. And he went down hard on his own on the sideline, hit that painted area back there, and his feet went out from underneath of him.
He stepped up in the pocket, and he rolled to his right, and it looked like he was thinking about running and tucking that ball to try to pick up some additional yards, but out of the corner of his eye, he saw Cavalcante barreling down on him, and he decided, look, I seen how this guy plays in the film. Let me step out of bounds and live to play another play.
3rd down and 10. We haven't said much about Brian Cavalcante today, and now we have whistles and a penalty marker. And this is a false start on Lincoln. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty and make it 3rd and 15 for the Lions. And the old song about 1 step forward, 2 steps back. See what they're able to do. Lone back in the backfield with Jackson, but on 3rd and 15, he'll be winging it. Pressure coming, throws deep downfield. It will be picked off by Delaware State over the head of the intended receiver and into the hands of DeAndre Blue Eli for the interception. All the same effect of a punt and a little bit of a return.
Had him in a 4-man coverage, looked like a zone situation. He was kind of just playing center field. He recognized that the ball was up in the air, Gary, and like you said, literally caught it. Kind of like it was a punt.
First and 10 Hornets with the ball at their own 22-yard line. Their opening drive went 60 yards. they've been able to put together some nice drives here this afternoon, and we have a penalty marker now going down out of the backfield. And we'll see what okay, they picked up the flag. No penalty for the substitution. So now we're ready to play. Bethea throwing, complete, Collie, 33-yard line, first down, Hornets.
That looks.
Pass is complete.
Check that. It was Visit Woodley on the catch. But these receivers are going out to where the marker is and turning around, and Bethea's putting the ball right there.
I really like Woodley's game, Gary. If you look at him again, another one of these true freshmen who plays with a lot of confidence, and you can tell there's a tremendous upside when these guys start working together.
Woodley on a cut inside, slant pattern to the inside. He's hit coming across the 45-yard line. Gets knocked down to the 46-yard line, and another Hornet first down.
2 passes to Woodley, and on that one, I like the fact that he put those big hands out and caught the ball as he was running, didn't allow the ball to touch his body. I always look to see that in a good wide receiver.
This time they'll go on the ground, running it up the middle on the carry. Taj Washington, and he'll get it to midfield, a pickup of 4 for Washington.
Second down for your Hornets.
We haven't seen Brian Dallas back into the game since he limped off in the first quarter, what appeared to be maybe a twisted ankle. We'll try to get some type of report on him.
4-yard pickup for Washington. Pressure coming, and it'll be the first sack of the day as they got Bethea in the backfield. Never had a chance. Somebody shot the gap there on the left side of that offensive line.
Just looked like it was a good defensive call for that particular offensive play. I think Delaware State was looking to go vertical. There's a whole lot of man coverage. They sent everything and the kitchen sink in. Bethea just didn't recognize it at the line of scrimmage. It didn't have a hot read to dump that ball off to.
It was Devin Cathcart on the sack, a loss of 8 to make it 3rd down. And about 18 for Delaware State. Bethea with a lot of time here. They'll go to the screen. A hit in the backfield and struggling away from the tackle, but only picking up a yard on that was Miles Beverly. Check that, Washington, Taj Washington. So the Hornets will be forced to punt for the first time today as they were only able to get back to their 40-yard line.
Trying to set up the screen pass, and you can see Ernest Sellers, he really struggled blocking the defensive player from Lincoln. Had he made that block and sustained it, they might have been able to get some run after catch on that screen play. It's tough for an offensive lineman to sustain those blocks on the screen, but that's the difference between being a Division I athlete and being a Division II athlete.
So for the first time today, Fidel Romo Martinez called upon to do something other than hold on an extra point. And a nice high hang time on that kick with no return. Unfortunately, bounces backward. Delaware State's going to have to cover it, and they lose 2 yards after the bounce of the ball. It bounced it around the 29-yard line, came back to the 34, and looks like they're going to mark it right at the 35-yard line for Lincoln. First break of the day for the Lions.
That's one of those punts where, Romo Martinez did a good job of putting hang time on it, but he needed maybe 10 more yards of distance on it. Didn't really cover as much distance as it should have. So that's one he'll have to review and film, and he'll have to make a better kick.
Hornets fans, you want to remember, be here next week for homecoming. It's going to be a big day as former Hornet and Black College Football Hall of Famer John Taylor will be back. He's the Grand Marshal for the homecoming parade Saturday morning, and there will be a special presentation to Taylor at halftime. Need tickets?
So for the last 2 possessions Delaware State had offensively, they came away with no points after putting up 4 consecutive scoring drives that resulted in touchdowns. So we hope that the offense doesn't get complacent. They literally need to go out and play as if they're losing the game.
At least through the first 3 quarters. You keep your foot on the gas and just keep driving. First down and 10 for Lincoln from their 35-yard line. Has tried to set up the screen, and if it had hit the nearest player, it would have been a penalty because the nearest player was the offensive lineman, Evan Chavez.
Second down for the Lions.
Andrew Reese, the nearest Hornet to that play, actually tried to make a play on that ball. Was a little upset that he got a late break. He might have been able to actually intercept that delayed halfback screen.
The left tackle was the closest to the ball when it hit the ground. Second and 10 from the 35. Man in motion to the far side is Brockington. Now he comes back this way. And Jackson in trouble. Jackson will be sacked. He'll lose 6 yards on that play to bring up third down and 16.
Loss of yards.
Just too much pressure by Christian Johnson and Leakey. So actually, Christian Johnson primarily on that play. Just too much pressure from Delaware State University. Not giving a quarterback for Lincoln an opportunity to set up and look downfield to find anybody open.
Ball on the 29-yard line.
Lions now trying to get something going here on third down and long. They've been faced with a number of those this afternoon. Jackson throwing left side, complete, and a hit made right at the 30-yard line. Open field tackle, beautifully done by Andrew Reese on the receiver, Shoye Sampson.
Andrew Reese trying to add some plays to the highlight reel for Delaware State University. That's a great open field tackle, and we've seen him do that earlier in the first quarter as well. And you like to have guys like that who, you know, everybody wants a guy who can cover, but every now and then you need a defensive back to come up and lay some wood. And, you know, looks like his part-time job is working for Lowe's. He's laying a lot of wood out there.
I like to see aggression on tackles, too. So often you'll see guys that kind of hesitate and wait for the ball carrier to commit, and then they get blown off by it because they're off balance. When you go through and just go to the ball and make the tackle, you usually come out on the upside.
Yeah, you take a little bit of football out of the offensive player, too, and you give him that sense of when he touches the ball, he's got to look around and see what's going on because he remembers the last time he got hit.
We're going to be with you for every Hornets game this season here on HSRN, and you can listen live to all the action. Kickoff. Pressure coming on the punt, a short punt that will bounce and go dead. Right, it actually bounced at the 49-yard line, went forward 2 yards, and then came back 2 yards. And then we have a penalty marker that went down in the area of the flag, and all the players were walking away from there. So we'll have to see what that's about. Pointing at Delaware State.
I'd like to get an idea what that penalty is.
Here we go. Line side block. So they're going to step off yardage from the 50-yard line against Delaware State.
If it's 15 big, that means we're looking at about starting this offensive series at the 35. And again, judgment. Right. You got to use better judgment. There's a big difference between starting the drive at the 35 and starting the drive at the 50.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 35-yard line. They could have had much better field position had they not incurred that penalty.
It's 1st and 10.
Since that injury earlier to Bryant Dallas, the Hornets have kind of gone with the backfield by committee. A lot of different backs in the backfield. This time, quarterback Bethea hits a receiver out on the left side.
Look at Kawana
And that's Kawana Kali. Again, he is racking up the stats here today on catches. And he is close to the first down. Picks up 9 yards on the play. 2nd and a yard.
Did a good job of just running that defender off, creating enough space for Tyleek Bethea to just throw that ball out there and get an easy reception.
They go to the ground. Bethea hands it off. Mike Waters hit in the backfield, bounced off the tackle, and managed to go forward to the 48-yard line for a Hornet first down.
Man, you talk about delivering a blow, and this guy's on offense. That's how you engage a defender who's trying to make a tackle.
Run through. Well, you know, Mike Waters, why shouldn't he be able to run through a tackle? The guy is 5'8", 205 pounds, low to the ground and a lot of power. Hornets to the air, trying to go downfield to Trey Gross. And good coverage down there. Step for step was Tyonte McKenzie. And it was just a little bit too far for Trey Gross to get to it. Well, they were going for it all on that play. But going back to Mike Waters, with his size and it's all compact, he should be able to just bounce off of or go through defensive backs who are smaller.
He's been plagued by injuries, but at one point he was the most dominant running back here at Delaware State University. When Coach Milstead took over, he tried to feature him, but again, he's returning from, I think, torn ligaments in his knee. He had a pretty severe injury, so he's been working to get back, into the rotation.
On second down and 1, slant pattern looking for that time Trey Gross coming in from the left side. Note, check that. It was a running back, Jordan Hanna, the wide receiver on the left side. Just a little bit too far. You talk about Mike Waters, though, and his history. Last year, he only played in 5 games. He didn't play after the 2nd of October because of injury. In 2017, he only played in 3 games, had the season-ending knee injury out at West Virginia. So, 2 years in a row, shortened seasons because of injuries, but the guy can play. Now we have markers at the snap as the Hornets are facing a 3rd down and 10 after 2 incomplete passes. This one's on the Hornets. We'll set them back and make it 3rd down and 15.
Del State's got to kind of get refocused, Gary.
Yeah, just all of a sudden here, some sloppy play offensively. Some mental errors as well. Now the whistles blow, and Lincoln has called a timeout. We'll take a break here as well. 4:41 left in the second quarter. It's
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike before the Bulldogs bite? Will the Eagles sink their talents into the title, or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wildcats wrap their jaws around victory, or will the Spartans win out in the hunt? It's the road to the 2019 Celebration Bowl. May the wildest team win.
stadium at Delaware State University. Hornets on 3rd and 15. Plenty of time for Bethea. Downfield, Colley tried to get open and could not. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 15.
4th down for Delaware State.
Bethea with all types of time back there, just couldn't find anybody short, so he opted for the deep threat to Kawana Colley. And again, they got to just slow down a little bit and refocus their offense. I know they have a sizable lead, and they pretty much might feel that the game is in hand, but they got to really play this like they're playing the remainder of their schedule. They can't have lapses in play like this against Howard or any other MEAC competition and expect to win the Celebration Bowl.
They'll take advantage. Low snap and mishandled by the punter. Finally picks it up, gets away a short punt. And this one's going to kick back when it hits the ground because it had that backspin on it. And it will be Lincoln ball at the 33-yard line. A low snap, and Fidel Romo Martinez was unable to handle it cleanly as it bounced off the turf. Went and picked it up, got away from some pressure there, and managed to get off the punt. Not a very good one, but not the opportunity to really set it up either.
Gary, if he had his wherewithal and he just kind of took a look at the situation, I know he's really focused on just getting the punt off, but he might have had an opportunity to pick up that 1st down because Lincoln pretty much just ran off back into their punt coverage. So.
Isn't there usually a code word that gets yelled from the sideline? Lincoln on the pitch out. In the backfield, Ararde Burrell is hit for a loss of yardage, and it's big loss back to the 27-yard line. 6-yard loss on the play.
Reserve linebacker Oliver Muembe. When you look at this guy physically, you're going to ask yourself, what in the world is he doing coming off the bench? Big, huge, athletic-looking guy. But again, he's literally supporting 3 of what I believe the best linebackers in the conference.
Hornets jumped offside for replay for Lincoln, and it will be thrown toward the sideline. The intended receiver, Shoye Sampson, unable to get to the ball. Good coverage by Asaias Guthrie, who kept him away from the ball. Guthrie had the better position on the ball. But the Hornets did jump offside. A couple of players anticipating that snap count. And just about the whole right side of the defensive unit jumped across, couldn't get back in time.
Again, guys have to be way more disciplined, understand the situation. Everybody wanting to make a statement, wanting to be in on a tackle, and they're literally being pulled off by the cadence of the quarterback. That's a lack of discipline. They got to stay focused.
Well, we went from 1st and 16 with a 5-yard step off to 2nd and 10. They'll run. And caught in the backfield, Deontay Brockington couldn't find anywhere to go. They're going to lose 2 yards on the play. Wow, this offense is playing just lights out here today. Or this defense, rather, is just doing everything they can to mess up Lincoln.
It's a combination of everybody kind of just maintaining their gaps, their assignments. And, again, this is good team defense. You know, we're not finding situations where guys are making solo tackles. We're finding situations where 3 or 4 guys are meeting the ball carrier at the same time.
3rd down and 12. Jackson, pressure there. He'll be sacked. And a marker goes down as well as Jackson goes down back at the 27-yard line.
Penalty flag on the play.
Now we'll wait to see what the flag is, but usually in a situation like this, it's holding unless somebody reached out and got the face mask.
Moses Dupree came hard off the corner, and he forced Jackson to step up in the pocket. He never really got a chance to find anything down the field.
Penalty was on the offensive line of Lincoln. It is declined by Delaware State. The Lions will punt from their own 27-yard line, and their kicker, Cole Klubeck, he does all the kicking, stands back at his 13-yard line to receive the snap. Delaware State's return man standing at about his own 46. The pressure was there. They almost got that one. And it forced Klubeck to kick it high and no distance. As a matter of fact, it's a 17-yard punt. 16-yard punt because it got to the first down marker. We have a media timeout here with 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first half. It's Delaware State 28, Lincoln nothing. This is Delaware State University football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new from open house to acceptance, new student
Dover is seconds of the first half. Delaware State with the ball 1st and 10 at the Lincoln 44-yard line after the short punt, and they'll go on the ground. It's Mike Waters going around the left side. Waters still on his feet, picks up the first down, goes inside the 35-yard line to the 33.
I'll tell you, he's still dangerous inside those tackles. Nobody hits the hole as quickly as he does. When he's healthy, he arguably is our best running back. The problem is, you know, the way he plays with that level of intensity, a lot of times he gets injured. with these impacts.
Bethea on the screen completes it to Isaiah Williams. Williams gets tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage, rolls forward to the 25-yard line here on the near side. A pickup on the play of 6 yards.
Play action screen back to Williams, the tight end. And, Williams was running that ball a little bit like, that might have been his first or second time catching the ball this season. He's got to get a little bit more familiar with catching the ball.
Up to the middle again. Waters hit as he gets to the line of scrimmage, bounces off a tackler, and goes inside the 21 to the 20-yard line. Hornets still moving the ball on the ground.
Hornets!
It's good to have Waters, that type of guy with that experience, coming off the bench and carrying the rock.
Bethea throwing over the head of his intended receiver. Looked like he wanted to get Jordan Hanna, the wide receiver on the left side. Just ran out about 7 yards, turned around, but the ball was up over his head, and he was unable to pull it in.
Saying that somebody might have tipped the ball, and, he's got a big, strong gun. He's got to add some touch to his passing game, and he's got plenty of time to learn that aspect of passing.
Hanna's listed at 5'5" on the depth chart, the roster, so he's used to throwing to taller receivers like Kawana Kali, who just caught that pass on the near side, went out of bounds to make it 3rd down and 2 at the 12. When you're used to tall receivers and all of a sudden you throw to a guy who's 5'5", you can throw it over his head.
This type of pass game really works well for Delaware State University. The controlled roll pass game, where you're hitting these big wide receivers and giving them a chance to make something happen after they catch the ball.
Quick 30-second timeout here, so we'll keep it right here. If you have a celebration,
2 seconds. 1, 2. Thank you.
oh, wow. Okay, partner, here we go. 3rd down and 2. Hornets throwing across the middle, and it is incomplete. Into tight territory, trying to get look like Bizette Woodley on the slant in, and the field goal unit will come in here on 4th down and 2 with 57 seconds left in the half.
The offense is saying, hey, let's go for it, Coach, but Coach Milstead's smart enough to know I got to work every aspect of my game, and this is the normal situation for the field goal team. Even though we might be able to pick up the 1st down and score a touchdown, let's get our field goal team out there and give them some game experience as well.
Well, Coach Milstead, too, isn't the type who wants to be accused later of running up a score. So you go for 3 here, and you get it on the field goal by Jose Romor Martinez. So the Hornets go up 31-0 here in the first half. I'm going to take a chance here that maybe I'll have improved since the last ad.
In orientation and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all.
There's a whole lot more than potato chips, too. Off, taken at the 2-yard line. Here's the return. And met short of the 20-yard line on the return, Tyonte McKenzie, a defensive back, He'll be stopped at the 19. Lincoln will have 45.8 seconds to try to do something here in the first half that they have been unable to do in the first 29 minutes and 15 seconds.
They have to be very careful, Gary. They can't really try to force the issue. They have to actually have a sustained drive. For them to try to go for the home run is exactly when they're going to make another mistake, and they can ill afford to make mistakes at this point in the game.
Been a tough going so far for quarterback Eben Jackson. Hasn't had a whole lot of time. He's been sacked a few times here this afternoon, and now he's faced with trying to go 82 yards or 80 yards in a short period of time, and the pass goes incomplete in front of the bench on the far side. Went downfield trying to get it down around the 45-yard line, but threw it too far out of bounds for his intended receiver. Good coverage down there, step for step, by Isaias Guthrie.
Coach, defensive coordinator Mark James doing a good job of getting some new faces in defensively, looking at cornerback C.J. Wilson, and they also have Keenan Black out there playing defense.
Throwing complete on a slant in, quick one to Jordan Gray. It's going to be short of the first down, however, as he was taken down at the 29-yard line. Make it third down and a yard. As the clock continues to run, we're down to 20 seconds left in the half. Barring an incompletion, this might be the last play of the half. Jackson under pressure, incomplete. On the out pattern, trying to catch the ball and get outside to stop the clock. Jordan Gray couldn't pull it in. It was a well-thrown ball. Stops the clock now with 10 seconds left in the half. And it's 4th and 2. And for some reason, Lincoln is going to punt.
Cole Kubek will punt for Lincoln
Their punter has
University.
certainly had the practice here
To
today,
receive for Delaware State.
risking the possibility of a run back by Delaware State.
But I think he recognizes that Romo Martinez has a strong leg, and if they go for it, they literally put them in, they'll stay in field goal position.
Keenan Black set to return it. Punt will get nowhere near Black. He'll stay away from it as it rolls and is dead at the Hornets' 46-yard line. One of the Lions players, Shoye Sampson, got blocked out of bounds and was down in front of the Hornets bench, and I think it was Jihad Niebauer who blocked him all the way out of bounds, and the Hornets bench reacting to Niebauer on that particular play. The first half has come to an end here at Alumni Stadium. It's Delaware State 31, Lincoln nothing. We'll be back. This is Delaware State University football on HSRN. We are the voice of HBCU sports.
in the process of building a pretty good product. The university wants to open its arms back up again. It's unacceptable that attendance records were set back when I was going to the university for people showing up to the games. We got to get our fans back, and that's what the 12th man is all about.
Winning football games will help to do that, and the Hornets lead 31-0 as they kick off to start the second half. Return man dropped the ball. It went into the end zone. He came out, and then he hesitated like he didn't want to come out of the end zone, but he had to, and he managed to return it out to the 7-yard line.
Just a little bit confused on that play, Gary, but he thought the better of it and decided to run out just in case.
Deontay McKenzie on that return.
So
go ahead.
His indecision is going to cost them. Wait a minute, we got some type of.
We're going to have to re-kick the ball. And usually that means that the kicking team was offside. Now Lincoln would have had the ball 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line, so this re-kick may not bode well for Delaware State. This might be a pretty good break for Lincoln.
They ducked a major bullet on that last kickoff return, so hopefully, like you said, for their sake, they can get a much better field position to start this drive.
They'll put the ball back on the Hornets' 35-yard line and will kick it again. Deontay McKenzie is the deep man standing at his own 12-yard line. And it is Jake Burdell who is, check that, yes, it is Burdell who's going to kick off.
You see that a lot in college football nowadays. One guy kicks off, another guy kicks field goals.
Specializing in a specialty. This one is taken short at the 16-yard line and brought up the left side, trying to fight and find a little bit of running room, and finally being brought down. It's Jordan Gray, who gets outside the 30. And the Lions come out with much better field position on the re-kick.
Jordan Gray, a wide receiver, returning that ball kind of just a little bit tentative, almost like he was looking for the contact, but nonetheless, because of the penalty, and that short return, Lincoln's going to start off with pretty decent field position to open up this drive.
At their own 33-yard line instead of back at their 9. That's a 24-yard difference if my math is right. I always have to check myself on it too. Here we go, start of the second half. Evan Jackson takes the snap out of the shotgun, throws, tries to get it to Jordan Gray. It's incomplete, and we have a penalty marker in the area where it would indicate pass interference. Will it be offense or defense? Also a pass penalty marker about 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. Pass interference on Delaware State. So both flags for that pass interference call. In college, remember, it is a 15-yard step off, not where it occurred, which would be a difference in placement of the ball here of less than 5 yards. That ball just kind of floated up there, too. It was not a well-thrown ball by Jackson.
He's not a guy who's going to throw a rope. He's one of those guys who just likes to kind of throw the ball high up in the air and hope the receiver runs underneath it.
Jackson in the first half completed 7 of 14. He was intercepted once, and he got 34 yards of passing yards. This time he's going to just about equal that on this play on the slant in to Jordan Gray, and he picked his way through a bunch of defenders down to the Delaware State 34-yard line.
That was a good call by Lincoln on that particular play. It was just a shallow cross to Jordan Gray, and he hit an area where all the linebackers for Del State vacated because they were all blitzing. So just a good time play, reflecting on what the defense was.
Maybe the best field position of the day for Lincoln right now at the Hornets 34. Jackson throwing that quick slant in through the hands of his receiver, Damir Triplett. Triplett came off the side there and cut it back toward the middle, and the ball sailed right through his hands above his head. Again, you have to catch that ball.
Yeah, he looked like he might have a little bit of alligator arms on that particular play, but I don't blame them. They're hitting out there, and you got, like Deion Sanders once said, some of these plays you got to make business decisions.
like how much do you want to hurt? Hornets to blitz here on 2nd down and 10. They see the blitz coming. They cover it, but the defense out on the side on that quick out to Demir Triplett, they catch up with it, and it's good for no gain on the play. 3rd down, we have a Hornet down who was in on the tackle. And unable to see from this angle who it is, but we know he was in on the tackle down in that area.
Preliminary reports are saying it's Andrew Reese.
Yep. Remind you, don't forget to log on to hsrn.com in addition to our sideline. Down long enough that Coach Rod Milstead was concerned, and he headed on out there to check on his player.
So he's kind of favoring that right shoulder. I don't want to try to diagnose what the injury might be, but I'm hoping it's something that he can get some therapy on and be available for the next game, because again, he's proven to be a pretty good player in today's game.
They'll take him back to the trainer's area and check things out. It's 3rd down and 10 now for Lincoln. See if this defense, they rush and they blitz, and a quick out pass to the wide receiver on the right side should go for yardage, but instead, Brian Cavalcante, only the 2nd time we've had a chance to call his name today, but he flew in there from out of nowhere and made the tackle.
That Hornet defense is just buzzing all over the place, and guys are just really running with a certain amount of determination and aggression to the ball, and especially at the quarterback, even Jackson. They literally put him on his back, double digits in today's game.
Thanks for the obligatory reference to buzzing here. 4th and 9, and the quarterback on the blitz has to pull it down and run with it. Evan Jackson gets to the line of scrimmage. He's hit, manages to go forward for a yard or so. Cavalcante on the hit again, and it is 4th down. 1st and 10, Hornets on the exchange of downs from their own 33-yard line. Let's see what they're able to do here on this possession here in the 2nd half. Hornets come out with Tyleek Bethea under center on 1st down. Turns around, hands it off. Mike Waters through the middle, big hole. Waters on a foot race now. He'll be dragged down inside the 30-yard line of Lincoln. Mike Waters just blew through a hole, and then it was a race to see if anybody could catch up with him.
It's true what they say about water. It rolls downhill. And, again, he did a great job of penetrating that line of scrimmage and setting up the linebacker and just, hitting that second level and just finishing off that run strong.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. The Hornets run it into the middle again on 1st and 10 at the Lincoln 27. Waters ahead for 3 to the 24-yard line to make it 2nd and 7. You don't usually see a guy run a short play like that after getting one of those long ones. A lot of players are headed for the sideline to try to get some wind. Waters staying in the game here with 2 carries in a row. Fake the handoff to him as he goes left side. Bethea rolls right. They set up the screen. And it is complete, but not much yardage on the play as a defender was up there to break things up. Completed the pass to Isaiah Williams.
Again, Isaiah Williams, catching that ball, and, he's got to understand the concept of planting that foot and getting north and south. He's doing a great job of picking up or doing a good job of running east and west. But at a certain point, you got to plant that foot and just turn that catch into some positive yards.
3rd down and 3 now for the Hornets from the 20-yard line. Bethea is in the shotgun. Waters in the backfield. Bethea throwing left side through the hands of his receiver. Peeler, just a slant out along the line of scrimmage. Tough play, just a little bit high, but catchable ball. And that will bring out the field goal unit on 4th down, as the Hornets will attempt another 29-yard field goal. This one will be a 38-yard field goal. Jose Romo Martinez hit a 29-yarder in the first half with just 52 seconds left in that half. Now he'll try a 38-yarder. Ball on the near side hash mark. The kick is up, and it is good.
The kick is good!
11-11 left in the 3rd quarter, and the Hornets add on to the scoreboard, leading 34-0 over Lincoln. This is Delaware State University football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike before the Bulldogs bite? Will the Eagles sink their talents into the title, or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wildcats wrap their jaws around victory, or will the Spartans win out in the hunt? It's the road to the 2019 Celebration Bowl. May the wildest team win.
Kickoff here, leading 34-0 in the 3rd quarter. And that defense is doing the job here for Delaware State today and getting the ball back to the offense. Defense stays fairly fresh because there's been a lot of 3-and-outs, Mike.
Right, and so, obviously it's Lincoln's offense that's struggling to maintain the pace right here.
Kickoff taken at the 18-yard line. Jordan Gray on the return. He is stopped as he gets to the 26-yard line. Just a short return on that kickoff, and the Hornets were there to make the stop. Let's see what this defense is able to do again for Delaware State. And Lincoln starts off with decent field position outside their 25-yard line at the 26 is where they're going to mark the line of scrimmage. Just over 11 minutes left in the 3rd quarter here at Alumni Stadium. Gary Lang and Mike Walker. And the first of 7 home games this season. Plenty of tickets available, fans. Come out and see your Hornets. This is a team you want to watch.
Penalty flag on
and a
the play.
Penalty marker goes down. It looks like one of the Hornets may have encroached in the neutral zone. Nope. It's movement on the offensive line. It's going to cost Lincoln 5 yards. And the movement by Delaware State was caused by that false start. 1st and 15 for the Lions from their 21-yard line. Jackson throwing, incomplete. Tried to get that quick move inside to Troy Sampson. And Sampson, good coverage there. He was unable to pull that in. That was a pretty hard pass, but Sampson has to help his quarterback.
They're tough passes. You come out of your break and, you're facing that pass and it's got a whole lot of heat on it. But you practice that in practice every day. And you got to make those type of receptions, if you want to be a contributor on your team.
2nd down, 15. Jackson again going back to throw. You're down by 34. You're going to pass a lot and the Hornets expecting it. That ball falls incomplete outside the 45-yard line. Shahad Niebauer diving, trying to make the interception, couldn't get to it. Deontay Brockington was the intended receiver.
DeAndre Blue, Eli is in on the coverage again. Good step-for-step man coverage on that. Delaware State doing a good job of applying pressure on the quarterback, forcing him to throw passes he kind of isn't really ready to throw, so they're not 100% on target, and it's giving those defensive backs opportunities to make plays on the ball.
Lou Eli had the interception for the Hornets in the first half. Quick out, complete. It is going to be taken down at the 24-yard line. Shoy Sampson and the Hornets quickly get there and make the open field tackle. It looked like Isaiah Guthrie on that tackle. 3 and out again by this Delaware State defense. That means that Keenan Black will stand at his own 43-yard line to take this punt. Cole Klubeck has punted an awful lot here today. He is the only kicker on the team. He's the place kicker and the punter. Hornets don't even come after this one. They want to set up for the return. And they've got a chance here from the 43-yard line. Breaks through, down to the 35, the 30, cuts inside the kicker, down to the 10, 5, touchdown Hornets.
It's a Hornets touchdown!
They didn't go after the kicker. They set up for the return, and they got it.
Great
Perfectly played.
individual effort by Keenan Black. Again, this is a guy who could have easily become a malcontent, could have become a cancer on the team because coach decided that, of course he couldn't play quarterback, he'd have to play another position. He accepted his role, a true team player, and he was just rewarded for all his efforts on and off the field last year.
If you're wondering when was the last time the Hornets scored 40 points in a game, well, now it's 41 points, but the last time they scored at least 40 points was the final game of last season against Virginia Lynchburg, which they won 41-7. Right now they have a 41-0 lead on Lincoln.
Black, just a good job of recognizing a wide open hole, setting up the kicker, that last move, and then just showing the elusiveness that you need to get into the end zone.
He just ran that back perfectly, but give credit to that special team unit that just sealed off the middle and found and gave Keenan Black a perfect lane to run through.
So right now, I would say the offense is grading at maybe an A-. The defense is definitely grading at an A+, and special teams is now what I would consider a B+. So Coach Milstead has to be happy with what he's seen. He recognizes the level of talent he's facing, but he's getting the results he's supposed to get. They've scheduled a team like this in this same conference under a different coach and essentially got shocked here at home. Coach Milstead was adamant about something like that never happening again under his watch.
The official sponsors of HSRN are American Spirit Federal. Bridell on the kickoff for Delaware State. This one down to the 7. And he brought right up the middle, and the Hornets make contact just as he crosses the 20-yard line on that return. Tayante McKenzie came up, and there was nowhere to go because the red shirts were coming directly at him. Brought it back 15 yards to the 22. It'll be 1st and 10 for Lincoln there as this offense gets frustrated by the Hornets defense time and time again.
Film review is mandatory here at Delaware State University, like most colleges, so it's not like guys wouldn't come to film review anyway. But I can tell you what, they're going to be there a little earlier in film review this week because a lot of guys have made some big plays, and I know they want to see them on the film.
It'll be more fun to watch. Quarterback Eben Jackson, tough game for him, throws across the middle, and it is complete. And taken down right away on the tackle by Tristan Murrin. Jameer Triplett on the catch. Check that. It was Shoy Sampson on the catch. A gain of only 2 yards on the play. You're down by 41, and a 2-yard pass is not going to get it done. Fake the handoff, throw, and complete. Going to be close to 1st down as Jordan Gray pulls it in. Was knocked down immediately on the coverage tackle. Isaiah Guthrie on that coverage, and he stops him a yard short of the 1st down. It's 3rd and a yard. And this defense would be very happy to create another 3rd and out here for Lincoln.
Pretty much all the starters are out for Delaware State defensively right now.
Jackson from the shotgun drops back. Pressure coming. Throws complete left side. He'll have the first down. Pushing for yardage is Justin Johnson, the running back.
Jackson's pass is complete to number 6.
They're not
Justin
giving
Johnson. First down
Jackson much
Lions.
time, even though these are not the starting defensive players. He's not getting much time, so he has to throw these little dump-off passes, and he's picking up yardage with them. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 34.
Keep your eye on these second stringers and some, in some instances, third stringer. These are guys. Some of these guys are actually supposed to be out there with the first team, but for whatever reason, they're one play or one step away from taking somebody's position.
Markers, free play for Lincoln on the pass down the sideline. Penalty marker will have some pass interference called as well. The ball was caught but out of bounds, so we have multiple flags. The Hornets' defensive line was across the line of scrimmage. Were they drawn off or did they jump? The fact that the play was allowed to proceed makes you think it was against the defense. And then downfield, offensive or defensive pass interference, I don't know. Offside defense. The penalty was declined. Pass interference is on Delaware State. They'll move the ball up 15 yards to the Lincoln 49-yard line.
Some of Lincoln's biggest offensive gains in today's game have come off of penalties. They've really struggled against this Delaware State defense, but they're having just a little bit of success against some of the guys who play in reserve.
That may be the first down of the game for Lincoln, and it comes by penalty. This time the handoff is to Justin Johnson as they try to catch the defense napping a bit. And they got 4 yards up through the middle, but that defensive unit all ganged up on that ball carrier.
Jahad Niebauer and Devin Smith, 2 starters, they're still in the game, so they're going to try to inspire these young guys to keep that level of play up.
Brian Cavalcante is sitting on the bench. Didn't have a chance to call his name too many times today. He had the leg cramp problems at Delaware 2 weeks ago. Jackson checking off at the line in the backfield there as he calls the signals, changing the play. He'll throw that quick out on the right side. Receiver gets past the defender. Now rambling downfield down to the 20-yard line, inside the Hornets' 20-yard line. And this is the best field position that Lincoln has been able to attain today.
Coach Milstead has seen enough, so he's sending all his starters back into the game because he'd like to try to preserve this 0.
As soon as that play was over, Cavalcante, who was sitting on the bench, grabbed the helmet and headed for the sideline. He figured he was going to go in, and he's going to. It'll be a late substitution. He better hustle it up. Hornets are going to have to call timeout, and they will. They'll stop the clock here with 6:56 left in the third quarter. American Spirit.
Delaware Lottery Collect and Win. You can turn your winning Delaware Lottery tickets into a chance to win up to $500 in monthly cash prizes. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today and start getting reward for playing your favorite Delaware Lottery games with Collect and Win. Learn more at DelawareLottery.com. Delaware Lottery. Want to play? Must be 18 or older.
So we got literally the starting defense back in the game, and they're going to try to see if they can prevent Lincoln from punching it in when they start here at about their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, now it's about preserving the shutout. 1st and 10, Lions from the 18-yard line. But again, those quick dump passes have really done the job for Lincoln. They've got to get some pressure on. This time the pass is incomplete over the hands of Shoy Sampson.
Incomplete. Jahai Niebauer with the deflection. 2nd and 10 for Lincoln.
Very close to being able to hold up there long enough for a Hornet defender to pick it off.
It's quarterback's worst nightmare when that ball gets tipped and it goes straight up in the air.
Yeah.
It seems like it's up there forever, like a punt.
2nd down and 10. Now throw left side completed to Dante Brockington, and he's taken down immediately at the 12-yard line.
Pass is complete to number 7, Deontay Brockington.
That's a gain of 6 on that play. This Hornet defense, I don't think they're going to be happy with stopping them on third down here. I think they want to take away because it's too close to field goal range there. They want to preserve the shutout if they can.
Lincoln's going to take 2 shots at it. I don't think they'll bring their field goal kicker in.
Throwing to the end zone. Battle for the ball. It is touchdown, Lincoln. And it was 2 players going for the ball simultaneously, and the offensive player came away with the touchdown completion. It's Shoy Sampson on the catch for Lincoln.
Looked like Nigel Bynum on defensive coverage, and again, he just got outworked on that particular play. And you got to listen as a defender. Sometimes you gotta understand where you're at on the field, and you got to be willing to turn your head for the breakup. And he never really looked back for the ball. He kept his eye on the receiver, and that gave him that little bit of advantage. The receiver knew where the ball was, and Nigel Bynum could never picked it up.
The extra point kick is no good. It went sideways. But the shutout goes away for Delaware State. They hadn't shut out a team since 2018. The last time they shut out an opponent was back in 2012. They got North Carolina A&T and beat them 24-0. So unable to come up with a shutout here today as the score goes to 41-6. The DSU post-game show coming up right after the game, brought to you by
watching the defense give up that touchdown. So, again, I don't know if Coach Milstead is actually looking to run up the score per se, but you can't prevent these offensive guys from going out there and executing. I don't care what play you call. There's no such play that's designed to just keep the other team in the game.
And when your players go out there and during practice, they're the ghosts of the opponent for practice sessions, and they're out there in the heat and they're getting battered around too. Once they get in the game, you can't tell them, I don't want you to score. I want to keep this. They're telling them, go play, because they're playing for position also.
That's right.
They're the next man up. Cole Klubeck's kickoff will be short, taken at the 28-yard line by Delaware State, and hit immediately on the return after a return of just a couple of yards. Kawanakali. It'll be Hornets ball 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
It was a short kick, and Kawanakali had to literally run up like he was an outfielder in a baseball game just to catch it, and he did a good job, but didn't get an opportunity to really set up any blocks, so he was tackled instantly.
That entire defensive unit, first and second team, sitting listening to words of encouragement, let's say, from defensive coordinator Mark James.
I think they're going to re-kick this too.
So we would have had a penalty on the kickoff, put it back at the 35-yard line, and re-kick to Delaware State.
Delaware State University is going to get a huge return potentially on this play. Cole Klubeck, doesn't have the strongest of legs, so he's going to try his best to drive this as deep as he can. And I think, Delaware State, if they got to return left, right, or center, whatever they have, they really need to try to execute on this return, because it's a possibility they can break this one or get really great field position.
Well, remember, the Hornets gave up field position when they had to re-kick a kickoff, and Lincoln took advantage of it. Rather than starting the series at the 9, they started at their own 35. So the Hornets hoping to take advantage of this re-kick also. Kawanakali now standing at his 25-yard line, and this one is still shorter than that, and it will go out of bounds. So we will have illegal procedure on that and a penalty marker on the out-of-bounds kickoff.
So where do you spot the ball on this one?
Normally it would go to the
All right, let's see what they're going to do with it. Re-kick it. Put the ball back at the 25 and kick off again. That's what they're going to do.
I think Klubeck is just trying to keep the ball away from any of the Delaware State University returners, but, you can't keep kicking it out of bounds. You're just going to keep giving up field position. You have to rely on the fact that your team can make a tackle. He's got to put his foot into this ball and drive it as far as he possibly can.
This is maybe a rule that the NCAA has to consider changing, with some people even considering doing away with kickoffs completely. This will now be the third kickoff in a row by Lincoln, and the contact that they say they want to avoid is happening third time in a row. Here's a line drive, more squib-type kick that will be taken by Colley at the 34-yard line. And it's not Colley on the return, but he's found a way down the right sideline. Keenan Black to the 5-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the Lincoln 5. Keenan Black with another great kick return.
Took one to the house on the punt and did a good job again of just finding the open lanes and doing what he's supposed to do.
And he sure did find it. Keenan Black on the kick return. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5 for Delaware State.
Just some good blocking up front for Keenan Black, and he just tries to take it to the house, and he got forced out of bounds. And I thought he would get airborne from the 5, but that's something he's got to practice, I guess, in practice.
You're saying the 61-yard kickoff return for the Hornets? Now just the officials huddling up here a little bit before the return to action.
Tell you, all these stats are making the sports information department work very hard here
They
at Delaware State University. They're pulling out programs they haven't used in years.
Pass to the end zone. It will have pass interference in the end zone. As the receiver went for the ball, he was dragged down from behind, and there was no chance for Bizette Woodley to pull that in. The flags flew immediately. You knew it was going to be pass interference. That will move the ball half the distance to the goal line, and they will put it on the 2.
Following the penalty is 1st and goal for your Hornets.
So it brings back a 1st down for Delaware State. Here they go to the ground. Touchdown, Hornets.
It's a Hornets touchdown. Mike Waters from 2
Mike
yards
Waters,
out.
who has really had a great second half here, gets the reward and gets the score.
Yeah, I'm glad this guy's actually getting a chance to play, because I'm hoping this inspires him to be the man he was when he first started playing here at Delaware State University. They had high hopes for him, and it's not a bad attitude. The guy's got a great attitude. He's just got the injury bug. Couldn't stay healthy.
Well, having lost 2 seasons partway into the season in a row, to come back here this year, this is a guy with some heart. Extra point kick is good. The score, Delaware State 48, Lincoln 6. This is Delaware State University football on HSRN. We're going to do for you, if I remember it this week, I'm going to bring you one of these.
Oh, man, please.
Action here at Delaware State University. The Hornets kicking off, and a good kickoff that will go down to the 2-yard line. It'll be Tyonte McKenzie on the return, and McKenzie will bring it out across the 20-yard line to his own 22 or 23-yard line. And now the Hornets defense will go out and get stingy again. and it's the first unit out there.
Yeah, I think Coach Milstead has seen enough. And, maybe the wholesale change wasn't the best of ideas. Sometimes you want to sprinkle some of the reserves in so they can play effectively, with your starters. I guess Coach Milstead, again, wants to preserve that very low score that the defense has yielded in today's game.
Eben Jackson, tough game for him against this Delaware State defense. He has to quickly throw downfield, incomplete. Intended receiver was Deontay Brockington, who knew the ball was over his head and just broke off the pattern. He was being covered closely by Esias Guthrie.
They brought him in motion, and they tried to run a switch route, hoping that he'd get lost in the coverage, but Del State did a good job of recognizing the switch and applied very good man defense by Guthrie, and again, just good defense by Delaware State.
Next week, homecoming here at Delaware State against Howard. On second down, completed pass, and a good screen set up, and downfield down to the 50-yard line. Breaks a tackle there to the Hornets 45. Inside the Hornets 35-yard line before they can drive him out of bounds. It is Demir Triplett.
Great individual effort, and I tell you what, just a great call against a very over-aggressive defense by Delaware State. Just a slant pattern where some of the linebackers in the underneath defensive protection had vacated, and then when he gets out into open space, just a whole lot of good moves to pick up additional yards.
Triplett down to the Hornets' 31-yard line.
Lincoln has done a pretty good job of moving the ball in between the 40s.
And Jackson has done a good job of adjusting here, too. Now he stands in the pocket, gets hit, gets away from the tackle, throws the short pass and completes it. It's going to go for about a 2-yard completion instead of the sack. Jordan Gray on the catch. But instead of wrapping up the quarterback, he bumped him, and Jackson just got away from it.
Yeah, Christian Johnson, the defensive lineman, for whatever reason, thought he was just going to bowl him over instead of just wrapping his arms around him and tackling him for, a significant loss. You could tell by the way he was shaking his head that he knew he made a mistake. I'm sure he'll try to get it back.
Second down and 8. Jackson's adjustment, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw after a couple of sacks and hits after making the pass. Now he throws across the middle again and completes it on a slant in down to around the 11-yard line.
First down, Lions.
And it's Jordan Gray on the catch. First down for Lincoln. Jackson, realizing he doesn't have much time in the backfield there, can't look downfield too much, has to get rid of it quickly, and he's been doing that and eating up this defense on short passes.
That's why if you're a defensive player, you have to lock onto your man. Do not look away to see if you can be involved in the play on the other side of the field. Just take care of your assignment.
Jackson with the man in motion, drops back, looks, throws into the middle, and it is incomplete. And you wonder how much Jordan Gray really wanted to catch that pass because he heard the footsteps. He just dropped it and still got leveled.
Brooks Parker, again, we haven't said his name much either, but he's another one of those guys who's a big hitter, and he's always in the right place. And, again, him, Brian Cavalcante, they got to be two of the best linebackers here in the MEAC.
Second and 10 as Jackson continues to work from the shotgun. I don't think he's gone under center once today. Looks, throwing end zone, right side. It is incomplete. Dropped by the intended receiver, Shoye Sampson.
Isaiah Small just got bailed out because he got beat on that play.
He did.
And again, stop that join and really just focus on that defense. It was a good pass, and one of those situations where if the receiver just could have held on to the ball, he'd be celebrating right now.
Third down and 10 from the Hornets' 17-yard line. Jackson trying to get his team to the end zone. And after those little deke and dunk passes to go to the end zone on that play, I think maybe caught the Hornets' defense just a little bit off guard. Here's Jackson throwing the screen, right side, complete. And going to be short of the first down by a whole lot on the completion to Demir Triplett. as he gained yardage down to the Hornets' 12-yard line. It was a gain of 5. It's 4th and 5.
Triplet on the flat screen. Basically, instead of running up the field, he just runs literally down the yard marker and catches that pass and tries to make something happen underneath after the catch, but he runs right back into the DSU defense.
They're going for it here on 4th down. They flood the left side with 3 receivers, 2 split out wide on the right. Nobody in the backfield with the quarterback, Eben Jackson. Jackson now looking to the sideline as he counts it off and called timeout. And I think Lincoln was seeing if maybe Delaware State would jump offside. Worth a try. Use up a timeout, though, in that regard. Down to 2:22 left here in the 3rd period. You can listen to all the live action. And 5 for Lincoln at the Hornets' 12-yard line. Hornets trying to keep Lincoln out of the end zone. They spread out that offense. They throw down to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. And it was Shoy Sampson over top of the defender. Just throw it up there. Sampson able to go up and get it. And the defender, again, didn't look back to the ball, had no idea it was there.
You know, just a basic fly pattern in a short field, and he still got behind the defender. That's something that coach is going to have to address because, you know, again, these are good receivers at the Division II level, but they're nothing like the level of athleticism that they're going to face at the Division I level.
Cole Klubeck's first extra point attempt went way wide left. This time it is blocked. And the Hornets pick it up and they'll run with it. It's a live ball. And the Hornets downfield with blocking. It is C.J. Wilson for the touchdown. That is a 2-point touchdown for Delaware State.
They'll take it.
You'll take the 2, yes, sir. Everybody went for that loose ball after the ball was blocked. The kick was blocked. C.J. Wilson managed to pick it up cleanly. And he had a lot of place to run, and he got it. The last time Delaware State scored at least 50 points in a game, go back to November 20th, 2010, defeating Howard 53-43.
In a shootout.
Today, they have 50 on the board, and the other team does not have 43. It's 50-12 as Lincoln has failed to convert either touchdown. When it comes to your Hornets here today, one on a punt return, the other on a block extra point. The defense has yet to score. I'm just saying. Kickoff taken at the 24-yard line and running room up the middle across the 45-yard line. Good kickoff return for Delaware State there, as Lincoln's special teams are pretty much beat up right about now. And on that kick return, it was Corin Allen, rather.
Brother of Bryson Eileen, a very explosive player who we talked quite a bit about last year. A guy who did it all for Delaware State, a running back, good hands out the backfield, returned kicks as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep the Eileen family going here at Delaware State with Karan as the latest addition.
Well, everybody last year thought Mike Waters was going to be the workhorse, and then he got hurt again, and Eileen had to be the guy. Some new jerseys in the offensive backfield for Delaware State, as they give the ball on first down to Taj Washington, and he follows that offensive line out to the 50-yard line for a pickup of 5.
Tyleek Bethea is still in the game. He started literally at the beginning, has played every play, hasn't gotten a break. And you know what? He's getting great experience that he's going to need for the rest of the season.
He will. Washington again into the middle. Breaks away from there because it was all blocked up and took it to the outside. A saving tackle made at the Lincoln 38-yard line by Tyante McKenzie. Had Washington been able to keep his footing on that, he could have gone down for a touchdown.
I'm interested to see if his knee ever actually hit the ground. I thought his forearm might have hit the ground, but not his knees.
Yeah, he went all the way down. 1st and 10 at the Lions' 36-yard line. Great run by Washington. Bad snap, and the quarterback will have to go back. He tried to handle it, and it just kept going away from him. One of those things where you keep your hands touching it and goes further away instead of coming to you. Well, that's what happened to Bethea there as he goes back to his 49-yard line. That is a loss of 15 on the play. 2nd and 25, the biggest miscue of the day for Delaware State. Bethea from the gun, rolls right, looks, dumps it off, a short pass, throws it over the head of Bazette Woodley and out of bounds, makes it 2nd and 15.
As far as passing is concerned, you know, the plays that tend to work best for Delaware State University are the ones where we get it to those big wide receivers as quickly as possible. The little 5-yard stops, the little slant patterns, the little 5 and 10-yard outs. Those are the ones that Tyleek Bethea really excels at. And the ones where we're looking for him to read these defenses and throw that deep ball, that's not really there yet. So they got to really stick to that conservative passing game. I like to see him throw the ball, but I want to limit his ability or need to read.
3rd and 25. Throwing downfield. It's a battle for the ball, and it's broken up nicely by Tyante McKenzie for Lincoln. They were trying to get it to Trey Gross. He had just a little bit short, and as a result, the defender was able to get in front and knock the ball away.
Trey Gross looked like he was actually behind the defender. I think that ball was just maybe a yard or two underthrown. If he puts that 2 or 3 yards a little bit further up the field, Trey Gross might have had either a big reception or even possibly a touchdown.
This is just the 3rd punt today by Fidel Romo Martinez.
He should be able to get a foot in this one.
Yeah, the return man standing down at his 15-yard line, so plenty of room to kick this. Timeout called by Lincoln with 21 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And we're going to stay right here with it because the quarter will be ending in just a moment. Give you a chance to think about this. If you have a is a good one. And a fair catch will be called for and made at the 11-yard line. And now a late penalty marker and being thrown. And I think the initial indication is it's holding against Lincoln.
And if that's the case, Delaware State's going to get another chance to punt this ball.
Yeah. That's what it is. Holding by the Lions.
They're just going to take the penalty.
Yep, and half the distance to the goal line will put it down around the 5. Looks like that's exactly where they're going to place the ball, on the 5-yard line. If he would bend over and set it down, I'd know exactly where he's going to put it, but the 5-yard line. Third quarter is going to end here sometime. And by the game clock, it is in 13 seconds. You know, these are the types of games that you better not have an appointment right after, because these are long games. You don't mind too much when it's your team on the winning end. There's flags before the snap. And the Hornets might have given away 5 yards here coming across. That's the third time today we've seen that defensive line jump and get into the neutral zone. Once they were drawn off, and that time they were drawn off also. So half the distance to the goal line puts it down just outside the 2 to make it first down and almost 13 yards to go for the Lions.
Those are the type of penalties that have plagued Delaware State University since Coach Milstead's arrival, and he's really focused on the discipline type of penalties, the ones that would literally kill momentum.
Well, that time it worked in the Hornets' favor. They'll run the ball. Did he get out of the end zone?
Nope.
They are going to mark him down just outside the end zone. The ball carrier hit in the end zone, managed to slip out, and the officials ruling that he went down outside the end zone. I was not able to pick up the number on the ball carrier.
Put your fours up. It's the end
But it's the end of the third quarter with the ball just about touching the end zone line. And they'll take it all the way down at the other end. That's going to take a moment to do that, and we're going to break away. The end of the third quarter with the score, Delaware State 50, Lincoln 12. This is Delaware State University football. We are HSRN, and we're the voice of HBCU sports. If he gets the ball out.
I imagine it has to be. That's got to be the way
that would have to be the ruling there. Okay. All natural gourmet chips.
But the officials, I guess, gave him forward progress or momentum and said that the ball must have broken the plane as far as the playing side of the field is concerned. So they're going to put that ball with its nose on the goal line.
That's where they placed it. But actually, the play is under video review right now.
Well, this could actually work in Delaware State's favor if they get a chance to look at this.
We'll see as the referee taking a look at it along with the field judge. Play under video review to see if it was a safety. Delaware State's players, about 5 of them, immediately made the signal that it was a safety. Of course, that's unofficial. We waited for the official, and they were ruling he had gotten out of the end zone and placed the ball, as Mike described it, with the nose of the ball just about on the goal line. So we wait now to see what it will be. Will it be second down with the ball just inside the 1? Or will the Hornets have scored 2 more points in an unusual manner? And here's the referee's call. We'll see if we can pick it up. Hornets get 2 more. All right, I will challenge the sports information department now. Dennis Jones is about to come back into the press box. He won't want to hear this. When was the last time any team had 2 scores of 12 points, of 2 points in a game?
You're right. He most definitely doesn't want to even deal with that. He'll tell you, come see me Monday. I got way too many stats that I have to get downloaded.
Monday a year from now. But that's unusual. 2 scores for Delaware State today of 2 points each. 1 on the blocked extra point and return for touchdown by Delaware State, and 1 by safety. So they pick up 2 more to make it 52-12.
And they get the ball back, and they're probably going to have great field position to start this opening drive for them in the fourth quarter.
Right. Scores of other games going on. How about Miami over Bethune-Cookman, 42-0 in the third quarter? This game is delayed probably because of weather down in Virginia. James Madison, however, leading Morgan State 28-3. South Carolina State trailing University of South Florida 7-3. North Carolina A&T. Who are they playing there? There's no score in the game. It's not important. Neither team scored. Here's the punt kickoff to Delaware State, taken at the 32-yard line for the Hornets. And it is on the return. Corin Aline takes it across midfield for Delaware State.
1st and 10 for your Hornets.
Here you go. North Carolina A&T is trailing Charleston Southern 7-0. North Carolina Central leads Gardner-Webb 3-0 in the second quarter. At the half, Hampton leads Howard 20-13.
Your new quarterback for
Final,
Delaware
Coastal
State,
Carolina
number
defeated
10,
Norfolk State
Jabari
46-7. And the Hornets bring a new quarterback into the game. They'll go with, looks like the second unit offense into the game here now for the Hornets. Jabari Blake in at quarterback.
Second down for your Hornets.
He hands off on first down to Aline. Now, it was not Aline. It was Thomas Bertrand Hooden on the carry. Gain of 1, 2, 3, 2nd and 7. Hornets running left side. It's Jabari Blake, the quarterback. And Jabari Blake picks up the Hornets' first down. Jabari Blake getting his first collegiate action here this afternoon for Delaware State. Let's tell you about this young man. As with the Heritage Pioneers down in Virginia, he threw for over 2,000 yards and rushed for 1,443 yards. As the Hornets keep it on the ground now and run forward to the 33-yard line of Lincoln, and it was Hudon on the carry.
Understand this, the way we're talking about Tyleek Bethea, we could easily be talking about this gentleman because he was high on the radar for Del State as well. But obviously, when you got 2 young quarterbacks, you have to kind of try to develop one.
It's Blake on the carry as he spins around to around the 26-yard line of Lincoln. They gang tackle him there. Blake, though, over 1,443 yards rushing to lead his team to the Class 3 Virginia High School Championship last fall down there in Lynchburg. Hornets with another first down on the carry by Blake at the 26 of Lincoln. Long count by Jabari Blake. Looked like a busted play there as he expected to hand it off to someone. No one was there, so he pulled it in and ran it down to the 20-yard line, picking up 6.
Second down for your Hornets.
Did that look like a confused play to you? Like maybe somebody was supposed to cross and get that handoff?
I thought the confusion might have started with the play being called because you could see that there was some confusion with the running back on that play. And I think Jabari Blake just committed to running that ball when he got the snap. So he's looking at the coach right now sending in the play, and they may try to put it in the air. And, again, not necessarily to run up the score, but to try to execute some of their plays.
Yeah, these are the guys you need to have get used to play conditions and execute well. Wade Inge, the ball carrier for Delaware State, as he gets his first carry here at Delaware State. He received a medical red shirt after breaking his hand in week 2 last year. He transferred to Delaware State then for his final year of eligibility. But he's a local product. There's a fumble in the backfield. It is covered by the quarterback, Blake. Wade Inge played at Dover High School, graduated in 2014, then had a season at the Georgia Prep Sports Academy, and then he went to Slippery Rock up in Pennsylvania and then came back here to Delaware State after breaking his hand and getting that red shirt last year. Loss on the play, so it's 4th down and 11 for Delaware State. Hold on, the officials say Delaware State has called timeout. Coach Milstead wants to talk to his group. Media timeout. We'll take the break as well.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
More points on the board here with a 4th down and 11. Offensive unit comes back to the line of scrimmage for Delaware State. As Jabari Blake comes in at quarterback for Delaware State, he's getting his chance here in the 4th quarter. He's faced with a 4th and 11. They're going for it at the 26-yard line of Lincoln. Left-handed quarterback throws end zone looking for Kawanakali. He has it. Touchdown Hornets.
It's a Hornets touchdown.
Perfectly thrown touchdown Hornets. And looking back, Wade Inge is down on the field. He is injured, but the Hornets score again.
And that's that guy who did the same thing he did in UD, against UD late in the game. That was Bissett Woodley. Again, he looked just like Kawanakali.
Yeah.
But, again, tremendous play.
And as I look, sometimes the 88 looks like an 80. Yeah,
sure does.
When they're in the move. But Wade Inge injured on that play. He was blocking in the backfield for Delaware State. And he had just gotten into the game a few plays ago. This is the young man we spoke of who was the transfer from Slippery Rock. Had gotten the red shirt after being injured last year.
Coach Milstead instantly out there, so I'm trying to figure out what it could have been. He went down pretty early in the play, but look at that catch by Bissett Woodley. This kid is something special, Gary. I mean, I think we're going to be saying his name quite some bit because he's got, at a minimum, 3 more years. I don't know if they'll do something tricky with a red shirt to try to extend his stay here because they got some pretty decent wide receivers. But I tell you what, they might want to get him in the mix as early as possible. Because if Delaware State wants to change some things, they got to put their best players out there as early as possible and groom them to be the stars that they appear to be here on this field.
Woodley, the kind of player too. If he plays to that potential for 4 years here at Delaware State, we talked during our tailgate program about John Taylor and some of the records that he still has, other ones that were broken by players like Tim Edgerton, who I sat behind at graduation on this field. You see a guy like Bissett and you wonder, does he have a chance to put his name in the books?
Hey, was T.E. awake during graduation?
Actually, he had dozed.
Yeah, you know what? I was in one of his classes, and he passed, but he was known to be a dozer.
Yeah,
but I tell you what.
The young lady sitting next to him woke him, and I won't repeat the remark, but it had something to do with the Cincinnati Bengals, who had drafted him.
Right. Listen, he might fall asleep in certain situations, but I tell you what, he was wide awake, boy, when it came to returning those punts. I've never seen anybody return a punt with more danger. That's the only way that I can really describe the way this guy would return punts. Just a dangerous situation because either you're going to tear his head off or he's going to score. That was his attitude.
Hornets a pass today for 206 yards of offense. Total offense, 347 yards by Delaware State. And that was a nice touchdown pass for the freshman quarterback, Jabari Blake. And now a very long game has been elongated with this injury. Hornet fans, don't sit on the sideline. All right. Wade Inge is up. He walked off the field.
He's giving high fives and hugs. He's standing. So
Hornets, 2-point conversion attempt misses.
The extra point is no good.
And if they had done that, they would have hit the 60 mark in scoring. But as it is, the score with 11:17 left in the fourth quarter is Delaware State 58, Lincoln 12. Let's take this break. This is Delaware State University football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
2019 DSU President's Scholarship Ball is set for Saturday, December 14th at Dover Downs Hotel and Casino. This year's featured performer is Grammy Award-winning legendary singer Stephanie Mills. Net proceeds benefit DSU student scholarships. For more information, contact the university's Division of Institutional Advancement and DSU Foundation at desu.edu or call 302-857-6055.
First home game of the season for Delaware State. A good crowd. They have been entertained. And I'll tell you what, most of them have stayed here, too. As tempting as it would be to go and start tailgating after the game, a lot of people enjoying this one and seeing a Hornets team that they've wanted to see for a long time. Jake Brudell's kickoff will be taken at the 17-yard line, brought up the middle, taken to the outside by Deontay Brockington, and Brockington brings it out across the 40. They'll mark his forward progress out to his own 46-yard line, it looks like, or maybe 45. That's where they'll put it, on the 45-yard line. So good return by Brockington. And Lincoln will take it over 1st and 10 from their 45.
Does a good job of just bouncing out to the outside, finding those open seams, picking up those blocks, and giving his team great field position to start this drive.
Going the whole way here for Lincoln is Eben Jackson. He'll hand off on 1st down, and this one will go nowhere. Rarde Burrell nailed in the backfield, and it's a big loss on the play.
Loss of yards.
Tackle on the play led by Niebauer. And again, I like keeping some of the starters in with some of the younger guys. And Niebauer just did a good job of coming off the corner, totally unblocked, makes the initial contact, and all the other Hornets swarm in. He's an experienced Hornet, so he's got to show the younger Hornets how to find the ball, get to it, and make the tackle.
A loss on the play of 5, 2nd and 15. Snap, fumbled, picked up by Jackson. He'll be caught in the backfield for more yardage lost, a loss of 6 more. He'll be faced with a 3rd and 21 when they line up again.
Number 59, Patrell Gray. Loss of yards. 3rd down.
Now,
Third down.
the bus has been sputtering for Lincoln. Now the wheels are about to fall off.
And that's when you're a coach, you look to see how people finish games off like this, because there are certain players who are kind of going to fold and look to the next game, and then there are other guys who are going to play like they still have a chance to win. Those are the guys who are the future of your program.
Jackson takes the snap, rolls right side, throws, incomplete. He was looking to hit Jordan Gray. He was downfield around the 50-yard line and being covered pretty well on the play for Delaware State by Muhammad Tayyam.
Penalty flag on the play.
We have a penalty marker on the play. It's in the backfield. Let's see what it is. All right, personal foul. And they are going to, I believe, as his microphone was cutting out, he was saying review the previous play, too. Now, what they're looking for there, I don't know.
I think helmet contact.
Helmet-to-helmet contact, possibly. Yeah. And we're looking at a replay of it, but the camera went off the quarterback as he threw the ball. And, of course, it was roughing the passer, which happened after he threw it. So the replay that we just saw is inconclusive. Maybe the officials will have something else that they're able to see. So they'll review it. Next Saturday, we will begin our tailgate program, at 5 o'clock?
Return to the field next Saturday, September 21st for the home against Howard. Kickoff is 2 p.m. here at Alumni Stadium. Contact the DSU ticket office for ticket and parking information on next week's homecoming game.
Today, 16 of 28, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mike Waters leads the rushing for Delaware State, 6 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. And Bezette Woodley, the leading receiver, 4 catches, 82 yards and a touchdown. That came late, but you still can't take away that Kawanakali has 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, I really like the fact that Woodley is lighting them up, and he's coming off the bench. They're going to find a way at some point to get all 3 of these receivers on the field.
All right, they do have the roughing the passer. In case you weren't able to hear the officials' call, roughing the passer is still the call, but they've determined no targeting. So the 15-yard penalty puts the ball at the Lincoln Lions' 49-yard line with a first down. We still have 9 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the game.
It's been a while since Delaware State has had 3 competitive QBs, and they're in a pretty good position right now. All those guys are young, and they're only going to get better.
Bad snap. Gets away on the handoff, the pitch out, and it got away from Deontay Brockington, the wide receiver. He had to go back and fall on it. Let's see how much yardage was lost. Back to the 37-yard line. That's a 12-yard loss.
Trying some reverse between the halfback and the wide receiver, Brockington, and again, just good penetration by Delaware State University. Just blew that up right at the beginning. Quantrell Gray, the linebacker, again, great penetration to stop that play.
2nd and 22. And a long count as it looks like maybe quarterback Jackson is checking off at the line of scrimmage. Passes, short pass complete to the 41-yard line, wrapped up there and taken down immediately after making the catch. Joyce Sampson.
Third down for Lincoln.
And so it gets it up to the 42, and it's 3rd down and 17. Yep.
It's 3rd down and 17. Ball on the 42-yard line.
This Hornet defense that has now given up 12 points in this game doesn't want to give up any more. They'd like to push Lincoln to the sideline and let that offense come out and get some more practice. Again, a pass. It is complete. And breaking away from the tackle was Demir Triplett.
Jackson's pass is complete
But
to number
it's
12, Demir Triplett.
only good for 8 yards, and it'll be 4th down and 9 now for Lincoln.
4th down.
Guthrie does a good job for Del State of coming up, Gary, very quickly and making contact on the cover, but he's got to wrap him up and make those tackles. Can't allow the receivers to fight through his tackle and pick up additional yards.
Got him up around the waist. He might want to try to get him down around the thighs more and break him down at the leg areas. Otherwise, some of these guys are so strong, they'll break that waist tackle. Especially sometimes the matchup between a back or a wide receiver out there and a defensive back. We got a penalty marker go down. It's a delay of game on Lincoln. Whether they did that because they were hoping Delaware State would jump offside or they just wanted to create more room for the punt, don't know.
You know, I've watched Klubik punt today, and I don't know if he necessarily needs more space.
Charles Peeler is back to take this one. It will bounce in front of him. The Hornets will get away from that ball as it bounces back, and it will be downed at the Hornets' 10-yard line.
Roosevelt Jordan downs the punt.
Plenty of time here, 6:58. If the Hornets want to try to go 90 yards more and put a few more points on the board. Hold on, though. We have a penalty marker on the play.
I don't think Delaware State, I think they had 12 men on the field.
This is not what we're referring to as 12th man.
Nope.
The officials still have not given us an indication. Trying to figure out what the call was, but now they're stepping off yardage back toward the end zone and setting it down at the 5, and that would be half the distance to the end zone or a 5-yard penalty one way or the other, as the ball had been downed at the 10. So it looks like that's where they're going to put the ball down, but we're still not sure. Pace of the game slowed down considerably here in the 4th quarter. Would you agree? It's somebody said 3rd quarter. It did slow down in the 3rd quarter. Here in the 4th quarter, it is moving at about the same pace as a snail.
12 men on the field.
All right, 12 men on the field was the call. Half the distance to the goal line means the Hornets will have to go 95 yards if they want to put points on the board. It's not necessary with a 58-12 lead, but again, as we've said so many times, you can't put those guys out there who've been on the practice field and who want the opportunity to show what they can do in game conditions. Can't tell them hold back.
Number 4, Gerald Lewis.
Hornets will go with their third quarterback of the day. Jared Lewis gets into the game. He's another freshman. And he'll hand off on first down. That offensive line pushes forward just a couple of yards out to the 7. Thomas Bertrand Hudon on the carry. Jared Lewis, the freshman coming in here, is from Baltimore. Transfer from Fort Scott Community College, where he played for the Greyhounds. They're out there in that Jayhawk Community College Conference in Kansas. There's a running play out over on the keeper by Lewis. Takes it out to the 8-yard line to make it 3rd down and 2.
3rd down for Delaware State.
Jared Lewis, third freshman quarterback in the game for Delaware State, keeps the ball, and a neat move to get around one tackler right behind the line of scrimmage, takes it around left tackle and gets the first down out to the 19-yard line.
You know, it's just a read situation. If that end goes down with the running back, the quarterback's told to bounce it outside and pick up as many yards as you can. And he's running very aggressive for a QB.
Would like to see him hold the ball in a little closer to his body. He had that one out kind of like a loaf of bread or even a target for somebody to slap it away. Lewis hands it off on first down, and the Hornets will pick up 2 out to the 21-yard line as they run it up the middle. Now they're just trying to use up clock and let some people get some practice time. Hudon on the carry.
2nd down for the Hornets.
2nd and 8 now. As we're approaching that time of day here at Delaware State at 7 p.m., where the sun's starting to go down, the temperature dropping just a little bit. Mike Walker's happy with that.
Boy, it was blistering, and you know Hornets hate to be out in the heat.
They only gained a yard on that previous play. There's a pass by Lewis, his first completion on his first pass as a Hornet. And it is complete. It'll pick up just 2 yards. And on the receiving end, Ray Arosio.
3rd down for Delaware
Third
State.
and about 5 yards to go here. Let's see what Lewis does here after completing his first Hornet pass. Fakes the handoff, rolls right side, complete. First down, Hornets, as the catch was made by Bizette Woodley, and he dove out of bounds. We have a marker down on the field in the area close to where the catch was made. Roman Davis, actually, number 89, made that catch. And again, hard to tell the difference from the opposite side of the field between an 88 and an 89. But it was Davis on the catch. And let's see what this penalty is about. Looks like they're going to step off yardage against Lincoln.
I think this might actually be going against Del State.
Nope, it turns around now. And he looked like he was ready to step toward Lincoln. It'll turn around, and this will be against Delaware State. It will take away that first down. And it will take away Roman Davis's first catch, unless it was a dead ball foul. Personal foul on a breakup of the microphone, so we weren't able to catch it, but it had something to do with a block, I believe. Blindside block. It's twice the Hornets have been called for blindside blocks today. You want your guys to be aggressive, but you can't lose first downs and plays with that.
Got to be able to see a guy's face when you block him.
You want to see the fear in his face, right? All right, they put the ball back to the 15-yard line. It's 3rd down and 14 for the Hornets as Jared Lewis works from the shotgun, takes the snap, looks, can't find a man open. He'll step up into the middle and run the ball, and he'll take it all the way up to the Hornets' 24, close to the 25-yard line, and that will bring up 4th down and 4.
4th down for Delaware State.
And with this field position at their own 25-yard line, they're not going to take any chances with 3:20 left. They'll go ahead and punt it away. Special teams have been special for Delaware State today. A punt return, a long kickoff return that almost went for a touchdown, and a blocked extra point that went for a 2-point Delaware State touchdown.
Penalty flag on the play.
And we have a penalty marker before the snap of the ball. Lincoln gets called for the illegal substitution. That's a 5-yard penalty, and that will give the Hornets a 1st down.
Man, talk about our early Christmas gift.
Wow.
It's 4th and 10 for your Hornets.
Check the roster here. See who had a birthday today.
We've already seen 3 quarterbacks. Do we have 4?
Well, I mean, if you really wanted to have some fun, you could put Keenan Black back there.
Right? Hey, you could
You do have 4 quarterbacks. Though he has switched to defense, he could still go back there if you needed him. And the Hornets will run the ball, and the quarterback will keep it on the fake handoff. Jared Lewis will go out of bounds at the Delaware State 41-yard line, and that will be another Hornet 1st down.
I really like how comfortable he is with running the ball. He's got like a Michael Vick kind of a flow to his run. He's not intimidated. He's not afraid to run the ball. And he's shown he's got pretty good arm strength. So it would appear to be that Delaware State University might have 4 quarterbacks all competing.
High snap, but the handoff goes to Hudon, and Hudon works his way out to midfield, coming up just a yard short of the 1st down. 2nd and 1. One of the things that impresses me here today, Mike Walker, is the stands were very full before the game. Here at the end of the game, with a 46-point lead and 2 minutes left in the game, the stands are still pretty full. Very few people have left this game. Hornets running it. It's the quarterback, Lewis. He has a 1st down as he gets to the Lincoln 45-yard line, and now a late penalty marker. A couple of players got together there, and I don't know who they'll call it on. The helmet came off of a Delaware State player, and I think that's Trey Gross. No, that's not Trey Gross. It is the aforementioned Roman Davis. Now, his helmet came off. Normally, you have to come off the field for a play, and that he started to go back out, and a coach told him no, go back out, and then the officials came and told him, young man, you were right. Now, he shouldn't have to come out of the game, and that's what they're explaining, because his helmet was knocked off on the unsportsmanlike conduct call against Devin Cathcart of Lincoln. He actually knocked the man's helmet off. Step the ball 15 yards to the Lincoln 30-yard line. And Lewis pulls down the snap, decides to run with it, and he is hit full on one-on-one by Zion McFarland.
But he pops up and he's ready for the next play. Clearly, this is a man who's comfortable running the ball.
Zion McFarland, let me tell you about this young man, and the thing that makes me want to point him out. He came from my high school in Baltimore. He was a Parkville Knight. First time we've managed to say his name today. Hornets on the carry up the middle, just short of the 1st down. They'll be faced with a 3rd down and 1 after Hudon's carry.
On the carry.
Haven't had too many opportunities over the years to announce games from my high school alma mater where players were from that school. There haven't been many standout teams at that school over the years. Hudon again on the carry, a first down inside the 20-yard line, and we are inside 1 minute, down to 40 seconds left the game. Unless the Hornets come up with a big play, and they've been running plays here, the score will likely remain the same, but it's a big win. 46-point lead right now for Delaware State. And what a tune-up for next week against Howard and homecoming. Should swell the attendance a bit. The snap, the give, fake the handoff. Lewis, left side, turns the corner, runs out of bounds, stops the clock with 10 seconds left.
Lewis on the quarterback keeper.
And Hudon, as the fans realizing the Hornets coming away with a win here, they're already starting to react to it.
And that's it.
And that's
Rolling
it.
clock.
They said, let's not stop the clock because it ran out of bounds. We'll roll the clock, and the game is over. The final score, Delaware State 58, Lincoln 12. We'll be back to wrap it up here from Delaware State University in just a moment. This is Hornets football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports.
And we'll see you hours at Alumni Stadium.
Decisively, and that's what the Hornets did.
I think Coach Milstead's going to be happy because, look, he got the results he was looking for. But then there were moments in the game where, the team looked like it is a team still under construction. So they're going to go back and review the films. They're going to show all the big touchdowns, all the big plays, but then also going to show some of the mistakes that led to them giving up 12 points. And again, Coach Milstead knows that, look, this is a victory to help build our confidence. It does nothing for our conference play position, nor does it do anything for our position for the Celebration Bowl. But here's what it does. It lets you know that teams that you're supposed to beat, you just beat, and you beat them soundly. Now, that has to translate into something that we can apply to conference play. And we'll get our first shot at that next week during homecoming, right, with Howard University.
I've never been to Atlanta in December. Would love to go.
And they'd love to have you.
Yes, they will. They're waiting for me. I had a letter from down there in Atlanta. Let's see. The DSU postgame show is brought to you by American